eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
Well, look who it is. It's you guys, here again, ready to listen to me ramble about who knows what for the next couple of hours. Welcome, everybody, to our new weekly show called After Dark. And this is where we kind of come into this with a very loose agenda, but this is more of a back and forth show. All the other shows that we do generally have like a set topic or a theme or a video or something that we're going to, dig into together. This one is our interactive show. This is where we just kind of hang out. We go back and forth with the chat. I get much more of a chance to read your comments, and I'm looking forward to it. The last couple of shows that we've done like this have been really fun, and they've always kind of found a bit of a groove, and they've sort of found their own little theme. So I like that. I'm here for it, and thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. The fact that we actually consistently have so many people just waiting for the show to start before it even begins is absolutely insane to me. I'm very, very grateful for you guys. Before we even started, speaking of, Dark Dragon Lord became a member. Thank you very much. And Yvonne Pandora gave me a little popcorn sticker, waiting patiently with her popcorn. Thank you very much, Yvonne. So it's I think I wanted to just kind of recap what's been going on in my life. So this last week, I've been in Vietnam for the last week, and I just picked up, I kind of left it a bit late, but I just picked up my scooter today for the first time. So I've been getting around on the bike today. So much more freedom. So I'm really sort of getting ready to begin exploring, which has also sort of pushed me to start doing some editing for the other channel. I have a video in Singapore. I have a video going out to the Gunung Padang megalithic site to edit as well. So that's been kind of pushing me to do that. So hopefully, I'm not going to say when, but hopefully there'll be the Singapore video coming out soon. Still needs a bit more editing though, unfortunately. I just don't like editing. I don't like editing. I wish I did. And it's funny because when I went to film school, all through film school, I was like, yeah, man, I want to be an editor. And then for like some of my final assessments before I really majored in visual effects, I was like, we did like some group assignments, and I was like, I'll edit. Give it to me. I'll edit the whole thing. And then they did, and I was just kind of like, I fucking hate this. I actually hate this. So yeah, that's kind of sucks. But this is why we live stream, because we don't like to edit. And it's beautiful in a way because we had a problem and we found a solution, and that is just doing the shows live. Now, they're not as tight and succinct as they could be if they were edited, with some flashy cuts and keeping it nice and punchy. But I try to do my best, and I will still edit. Like, I don't mind editing short videos, but the bigger stuff I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of it. I do need an editor, and I actually did put a call out a while ago, and I did get some people get back to me, and I did think some of them were worthy of like following up. But did I follow up with any of them? No, I didn't, because I'm not organized. And it's not because I'm not interested, and I do intend to get back to them one day, but it's hard doing everything. It's really hard. But yeah, I do want to do that. I think the reason why is because like, I don't know how to work with an editor in the sense of like, what's the payment structure? How does it work? Oh, I don't know what to pay them. They don't come to me. So, like they don't come to me with a price. So, I need to figure that shit out. It's just a lot. And I'm just trying to live, you know what I'm saying? By the way, last night we watched Taken episode 1 in Discord straight after the stream. And tonight we will be doing Taken episode 2. So it's going to be straight after the stream. It's in Discord. The link is below. It's below every single video that I ever do. and it's free for everyone. And if you don't know what Discord is, it's basically, you can get it on your phone. It's like an app, and it's like an online hangout space with different channels, different topics. You can meet people, talk about different stuff, post things that you're interested in. There's also a member section though as well, where we hang out even harder. We hang out really hard in there, and it's a great time. So link is below. I won't be streaming it in the member section though. It'll be for everyone. So whoever wants to come and watch Taken, that will be in Discord after this stream, episode 2. A few people are saying they missed it, especially the Aussies. I know my stream times at the moment aren't very Australian friendly, and I do apologize. The good thing is, if you want to keep up to date with Discord, with Taken rather, it's on YouTube. Yes, it's free on YouTube. So if you miss the episodes with us when I'm streaming it, you can just watch it on YouTube for free. Amazing. Don't we love that? We love technology for these kind of things, right? Brett Hazza with 5 months says, wow, 5 months of my ears being sufficiently buttered. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, Brett. I appreciate you. And someone was saying they were falling asleep last night to the Robert Dean speech, and that I think it was Aaron, by the way. I think it was Aaron. Aaron was saying that he would fall asleep and nod off to the soft voice of Robert Dean, and then would just be rudely awoken by me and my nasally Australian voice just interjecting with my overly gained microphone that I can't seem to fix, just completely ruining the serenity. And I do apologize for that. I do apologize. I don't possess the butter of Uncle Dean, but where was I going with that? I don't know, but I don't possess the butter of Uncle Dean, unfortunately. I do my best though. Oh, that's what I was going to say. On that video, that was a big one for people. They're getting a little bit upset in the comments. A little bit upset. I was talking a little bit too much, talking a bit too much on my own channel. And I can imagine how frustrating that would be when you go to someone's channel and they start talking. I can only imagine the frustration that you must feel when you click on someone's YouTube channel and the host starts speaking. God damn it. And to that, I would just say, you know, guys, I trawl through the dark corners of the internet to find these beautiful little gems for us to watch together, okay? It's not an easy job. It takes time. So please just allow me to ramble sometimes, and I'll consider it as like your thank you. You know, the other day when we were speaking about how like there are some people, and we use like the analogy of the work truck, and how sometimes like, you know, you go out to work on a job site and you got like this guy in the truck who just doesn't shut the fuck up. And like, you know, he just talks so much shit and he always lies and he's always just coming up with stories and he tells you stories that you've heard before. And rather than just resist him and call him out and be like, bro, shut up, you told us that. Rather than do that, it's just so much easier to be like, oh, really, man? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, sweet, dude. Oh, cool, man. Sweet. Oh, really? Crazy. I need you guys to treat me like that, okay? So when I start interrupting and I start telling you a story that I've probably told you before and rambling on, just, you know, just pat me on the head. Just pat me on the head and say, yes, Josh, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, Josh. Yep. Okay. You know, we haven't heard that story 7 times. That's okay. You're doing great. You're doing great, sweetie. Keep yapping. And then eventually we can get back to the video. Okay. That's the two-way street we can develop here. You pat me on the head telling me I'm doing great, and I'll keep finding cool videos for us to watch. I promise. Old Soul Joe gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Old Soul Joe. Very kind of you. Meth Lab for Cutie. You little freak. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. A very strange name. However, I do understand the reference. I do understand this is a death cab for cutie play on words, and I'm here for it. I like it. Michael Gibbons with $15 says, hey, Josh, I recently watched Taken, had never seen it before, and it really does feature so many of the elements of ufology lore woven into it, like a history lesson. Michael, dude, were you in the Discord last night as well? I felt like after that episode that I was like, I need to rewatch this because I just feel like there was so much in it that was really relevant and like realistic to the stories that we are told, to the sequence of events of history that are kind of uncovered through ufology, that it was kind of crazy. And I guess I don't think I'm alone with this, but like I think a lot of people were kind of thinking like, one, either why haven't I seen this before, or even some people saying, why have I never even heard of this series? I had never heard of it until maybe, in the last 6 months, when I started to notice people were recommending it to me a lot to watch. I'd never heard of it. And to then go back and there's this like really like sort of accurate depiction of them stumbling across the Roswell wreckage and like how that happened, and the way like information and maybe doing little favors and things is used within the military itself to kind of creates this like sort of ladder where people just step on each other's heads to climb and get dirt on other people, and it just seems so real. It really does seem like so real. And yeah, I feel like I could watch episode 1 again, but we're not going to. We're going to watch episode 2. But wow, really good. Highly recommend it for anyone who missed it. You can watch it on YouTube. But we're going to be getting into episode 2 tonight. And for anyone who missed the quick run over yesterday, basically this show follows 3 different families, and it's only one season, 10 episodes. The first episode was an hour 20 minutes. I don't know if they're all that long. Sometimes just the first episode is, but basically it covers the events starting from Roswell all the way up until the year 2002. So you kind of see like a few generations and like the way things have been covered up, and then like people experiencing abductions, and there's a whole thing to it. Is episode 1 essential for tonight? I don't know, because I've never seen the rest of the series. No, I don't think it's essential. But basically, you're going to, I guess, just miss the Roswell crash and I guess the beginning of it being covered up. Now that I say it out loud, sounds extremely essential to a story about ufology. But yeah, you know what I'd do? I'd do a ChatGPT speed run. I do that sometimes. I just ask ChatGPT to explain an episode to me if I missed it. The Real Senzu says, guy streaming the Dread Sphere gets police knocking live. Later, he streams again and the orb looks different, swapped after a Men in Black visit. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think after I had Alistair on the stream, I was feeling like pretty sus. I was feeling pretty sus about him, especially at the end of it when I said, bro, like if you are lying, like people will figure it out eventually, and you might get a little bump in views right now, but once people work it out, they're pretty much going to think you're an asshole. When I said that to him, he looked like, when you get home and your dog has chewed the remote and you look at the remote and then your dog just kind of goes like, that was him. That was him. Did you do this? That was him. This is exactly like that. So when that happened, I was just like, yeah, bro, I have a dog. I've seen that look. I know you're guilty. And then like an hour later, he's live streaming, and it's like you can see these what look like cop car lights through the window, but it's like a glazed frosted window. It's like hard to see properly, so you can't even really see. And he's kind of at the window going, oh shit, like they're here for the sphere. Go. And then like the stream ends, and that right there was just like James all over again. Like, do you remember in the James streams where he would he would like, I've just escaped from hospital, I'm lost, I need help, end of the stream. Like there would be these really like vague cliffhanger streams where he just cuts them, when like in reality, if you were actually in that situation, the best thing that you could do would be to keep your stream on, right? For your own safety. So that really was like the nail on the head for me. And I was just like, yeah, this guy's full of shit. And then he put out a video basically telling a sad story about why he did it. And, he's so desperate for work, that he was considering wearing a Yeti costume, going to the bottom of a lake and blowing bubbles. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That is part of his story. So, you know, it is what it is. We learn. We learn that there are people out there literally willing to do these kind of things just for like 15 seconds of fame. But, you know, I don't actually think it is in their mind. I don't think it is 15 seconds of fame, because I don't think they think 15 seconds ahead, right? Because if you did, you would be like, when everyone figures this out, they're actually going to fucking hate me, and everything that I've then done is irrelevant. So I don't think they actually think 15 seconds ahead. They're just like very present. They're very zen. They're like like a Buddhist if they were a nuisance, just completely in the moment, but just making the worst decisions. Sociopaths are like that. Yeah. I think that is a thing to remember as well, is like, and I'm super guilty of this, right? And I guess that probably shows perhaps maybe in like the fact that I even am willing to entertain these videos, because I am genuinely interested in them. And I think it probably comes down to the fact that I'm a very just like honest and upfront person. And I know not everyone is like that, but when you, yeah, like I think you shouldn't expect other people to be the way that you are. First of all, that's an obvious thing. But I think when you are like very honest and just upfront with who you are and, you know, what you believe in, like I just wear all that stuff on my sleeve, you sometimes forget just how far the other way some people can be. You know, like obviously I'm not ignorant to the fact that, you know, some people are deceitful, some people tell lies, like obviously. But like, you know, sometimes I forget that there are people literally willing to like completely fake shit and then come on a live stream and be like, no, it's real, like just straight up lie to your face. Like that, you know, it's good to have those little reminders. I think it's good to, you know, just remember that there are some people out there that are just kind of retarded, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but that is just the way that it is. Like the temple on your sleeve? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Will the aliens arrive just before they push the nuke button? Well, I would hope so. Hopefully we don't get to that point where they're pushing it. That would be great in the first place. But I mean, that is what people have said. That is what different sources have said, is that they will only actually come if we are on the brink of nuclear annihilation. Which makes you wonder, well, what the fuck is going on in the Middle East right now? You've got a group of people who are trying to, by their own admission, usher in the Messiah to arrive. And you've got Pete Hegseth apparently like, you know, rallying for some kind of like return of Christ, holy war as well. Like it's like, what is actually happening here? And I'm really excited. I mentioned this the other day, but Jason Samosa is going to be coming on the channel Friday night. So that is not this time tomorrow, but this time the day after that. I'll schedule that sometime in the morning tomorrow. But I'm really excited, man. I really love Jason. Not only can you just tell that he's like a really kind soul, but he's very intelligent, and you can tell there's like no ulterior motive there. Like he's just very down to earth, and I just love his content. I think he's very valuable, and his subscribers don't reflect the value that he brings to this space. But I think they will. I think they will. I think his channel will probably blow up this year. So that's, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to diving into, you know, the intersection of ufology and religion, and why I think Jason is so important in all of this is that he comes from such a unique perspective as well. He comes from this background of like not even just being like, yeah, I used to go to church or I used to be a Christian. Like the guy was like crazy. That was his life. Like he was studying the Bible day in, day out to be someone, I can't remember the exact role, but like super high up in the church. Like he, you know, he could probably like list Bible verses off the top of his head, that kind of level. And I think that that is actually going to be, well, it is already invaluable given what is going on, the things that I just mentioned, this holy war, this like weird Zionist plan to take over the Middle East, instigate a nuclear war, all in the name of trying to trigger the Messiah, which is just crazy. Like, it all sounds absolutely crazy because it is, but the crazier part is it's real. That's the craziest part. Like, it all sounds crazy, and it is, but it's even crazier that it's actually legitimate, and that is what's going on right now. That is the world that we live in. So I think his perspective in helping us kind of understand this is really important. And because at least I personally think, and I think he does too, and I think that's why we'll have a great conversation, is that the link to whatever UFOs are and this stuff, I believe it is it's not even just related, it's the same thing. I really believe it's the same thing. And again, I'm not saying that like aliens and all this kind of stuff aren't real, but I think they have acted as the perfect sort of like diversion and vague smokescreen to kind of divert attention to what is actually going on and what the real sort of motives and plans are behind covering up this stuff, which seem to be what is playing out right now. So I'm looking forward to that. Get excited for that one. When's the ley line lady? You're talking about Rachel Vaughn. I wouldn't call her the ley line lady. She is I know you didn't mean that in a bad way, but that's just one part of her research. She's a satanic ritual abuse survivor, and she's from Adelaide as well. So she's from my hometown. I interviewed her earlier, I don't know, about a week ago, and it will be coming out probably just under a week, I would say. More editing. See, I'm already doing editing. And then when I've got my other channel, it's kind of like, more editing. Fucking hate editing, dude. If anyone on here's an editor, get at me. Pitch me some kind of price structure proposal thing. I'm down for it. And I would much rather work with someone who actually watches the channel because it'd just be so much easier. But I'm absolutely down for it. Fishler Stickler. God, I love some of your names. And the fact that YouTube changed them, like YouTube now just shows me your handle, which everybody's handle, which is not really the name that you choose to display. It's like the @ tag, which, you know, is very hard to find unique ones. So everyone's just like original name is just exposed. Unlucky. Fishler Stickler says, if Robert Dean's voice is like butter, Aussies are like the scraps left in an old tub of margarine. You're doing great, sweetie. Appreciate the nasal tones. Thank you. I'm doing my best. So I will be honest. I always thought my voice would be like one of the weakest points of my show. I used to think like, dude, I sound fucking retarded. I mean, no one likes the sound of their own voice, right? But surprisingly, I've had a lot of people say they actually like the sound of my voice, which I was kind of like, really? Are you okay? Have you liked the video? Have you gone to your local mental health facility? But that has actually been really nice. So that was really nice to hear. Always appreciate the compliments. I really do. Especially I would say as a male, you know, males, and I'm sure the boys will back me up here, males don't really get compliments. As at least like, you know, not in the way that females do. So like when a guy gets complimented, it's kind of like, it make my day. I feel a little bit taller today. Proclavith says, Josh, have you seen the new Y-Files basement interview with Scott Walter? I have not, but I think a few people were linking me that today. I think a few people were recommending me that one. So I'll add it to the list. We'll try and get on top of it. I feel like I'm drowning at the moment in content to get through, but we'll get there. You'll remember it for the rest of your life? Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. Always nice to hear. Rambro says, accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Polarity family. My man. Thank you very much for the fiber, brother. And beautiful words too. Beautiful, beautiful words. Couldn't agree more. Susie Mailer says, with 2 months, says, love you, freaky fam from Florida. Thank you very much, Susie. Can't wait to visit Florida later this year, assuming I get let into your country. Which is going to happen, by the way. I'm going to start speaking positively about that. I'm going to start assuming like it's already a reality. I can't wait. And NM with 5 months says, yeah, just made it. Been with you a year, but remember 5 months. Love the channel. Love the weirdos. Love to you all. Thank you very much, NM, for the 5 months and for the year of support. It's crazy that I've been doing this thing a year already, or more than a year. It really is crazy. And I really do. I feel like as humans, we naturally, well, I would say hold on to the negatives more. Maybe not everyone. And I don't hold on to the negatives, but I would say the negative voices they always feel louder. Do you know what I mean? And I think I try to make a conscious effort to pause a little bit longer on the nice comments, because there are way more of them. There are way more of the nice comments than bad. Obviously, if there was only bad comments, I'd probably just fuck off and never post a video again. But there is more good comments. But I think for some reason, there is like this human instinct to, I don't know, just not really like, I don't know you guys what I'm trying to say. We don't really sit on the good comments long enough. You have to actively do that. But then you hear a bad comment and you're just kind of like, this motherfucker. So, and that's not good. That's not good. It is funny sometimes to roast people in the chat, and I do enjoy doing that from time to time. But it is healthy to just, most of the time, just let it go. But I would also say equally, I don't like soak in the good comments too much either, because I don't want that to like pull me in the other direction. I don't want to become like all big-headed and shit, which I don't think I would, but I'm wary of that. But you deal with them so well. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird one. I like doing it. When people ask me what my channel is, when I meet people, more recently, I've been actually explaining it as a conspiracy comedy podcast. I don't know if you guys think that that's accurate, but I really do think, for me, like, humor is important. And I've always naturally just kind of been like, I like to crack jokes and stuff. That's just who I am. So it feels natural. But it's hard to sometimes it's hard to weave it into these topics. But I do kind of want that to be a pillar of my channel. I do want it to be that. But it's weird, because at the same time, I don't want people to think I don't take this seriously, because I do. And like the stuff that we dig into, ufology, world events, like I care about that stuff, right? That's why I'm digging into it. But I also want to have fun at the same time. So it's like, I don't know. It's a weird balance. It's actually a weird balance. Tara says, you're not funny though. Damn, that's a problem, bro. That's actually a problem for a comedy conspiracy podcast. I think I've missed the first prerequisite, which is a shame. I guess just back to the drawing board, bro. I'll keep working on my jokes, and I'll try and lift my game for you, dude. Always need humor or the world's too dark. That's kind of my my motto as well. You're just kidding? It's all right, bro. I know you're just kidding. I know you're just kidding, Taris. Just playing with you too, bro. Like Sam Tripoli. I haven't watched his show, but I saw him on Danny Jones recently. Actually, I had a clip that we were going to watch the other day. We didn't end up watching it. Maybe we'll watch it on the weekend when we do Weird Week. But yeah, there was a clip of him talking about like, the whole angels, demons, and Nazis and all this kind of shit. And, that's the kind of stuff that gets me going. That's the kind of stuff that gets me going. Angels, demons, Nazis. Come on. I appreciate that you're clickbaiting with bombshell titles or fearmongering like many others. Did you mean to say? Oh yeah, you meant to say that I'm not clickbaiting. Right. I do get accused of fearmongering sometimes though, which makes me sad, because that's definitely not what I want to do. But again, it's like, how do we talk about the fact that it seems like World War III is playing out without scaring people? Again, difficult. Difficult. But try my best, though. Try my best. Did you watch Lady Babylon last night? He talked about you. Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't. I have to check that out. I do watch him regularly. I don't catch every stream though, but sorry. I don't know what the fuck that was. These are noise canceling, so like when I can hear things, I know that it's really loud, but like I can't really hear what it is. Anyway, sorry. Yes, I do watch Armin's show. I don't catch every stream though, but I do try to check in. Okay, sorry, I kind of lost the chat here. We were on a bit of a roll, and then the Pine Gap pigeon started knocking at the window. Some people can't take dark humor. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing as well. And it even still, one of the earliest mottos for this channel has been, if you try to appeal to everyone, you'll appeal to no one. And that's why I just try to be myself, which I'm very aware of is flawed. Okay. I'm very flawed, like we all are. But I think you just have to be that way. You have to be yourself, including the flaws. I think that is the way to be, even though it will upset some people. And that sucks. I don't want to upset anyone, but it's more important to be yourself. It's way more important to be yourself, I think. Dark is the only way. That sounds like some Star Wars shit. That sounds like some Anakin and the younglings type thing, you know? I was trying to tap the glass on your window with my mind. I think you succeeded. Someone succeeded. Someone's remote viewing me right now. Oh my God. Okay. Someone's just stomping around upstairs, so I just need to get used to that. That's what's happening. For comedy? No, Audie, I know what you meant. I was just joshing, you know? It's who I am. It's what I do. I be joshing. Josh is joshing all the time. Especially in a show like this, where we're just going back and forth. Josh be joshing. Yvonne says you should see my lightsaber. Yvonne, put the lightsaber away, please. I'm sure it's a very good-looking lightsaber, but not right now. Not in the live chat. Don't forget to hit up the massage parlors. They're good for your posture. Yeah, okay. All right. I actually I haven't had a massage in Vietnam. And I'm talking about a regular massage, but my back, I think because I wasn't training for ages and I was just sitting in this dumb chair, I feel like I do actually need a massage for real. At the compound, all the showers are going to have cold water only. Why is that, sir? I mean, maybe at the very beginning when we're really just rebuilding it from the ground up, but we will get some hot water. Absolutely. We will have hot water at the compound. 420 Breezy, my man, says, when you come to Texas, go visit Caddo Lake. Go visit St. Caddo Lake, such an eerie, beautiful swamp forest on the border of Louisiana and Texas. Swamp forest. I like the sound of that. After Texas, I'm meant to be going to Louisiana to Lafayette. Am I saying that correctly? I have accommodation booked in Lafayette. I don't know if I'm going to go though. I'm not sure. And then after that, I'm meant to be going to New Orleans or New Orleans. I don't know how you guys say it. But I'm unsure about those two stops. I don't know. I'm unsure. Currently, we're meant to be doing them solo, which I will do, obviously. But you know, if anyone's from those areas and you want to come show me around, let's do it. I would much rather some company. Josh, did you get to talk to Amar yet from Yes Theory? He's coming with a very big project. You should get him on the podcast. No, I've never spoken to Amar, but I love Amar. Like even before, so I've watched Yes Theory for years, and I've always watching it, I've always just been like, dude, I like that guy. He just seems like a really nice, kind guy, and you can just tell he's got a good heart. And I was just like, I've always really liked him. And then he appeared in like the David Grush video, well, on Jesse's David Grush video. I was like, what the fuck? This guy's into aliens and UFOs too. And then didn't really see anything about him to do with that. And then he was on Area 52 like a couple months ago. And I was just like, yep, I knew it. This guy's a real one. I could tell. But no, I've never spoken to him. I did hear he was doing something to do with UFOs, maybe. I think they mentioned that on the Area 52 podcast. But no, I have no idea what it is, and I have never spoken to him. Would love to, though. Snip Snap Moth says, glad you enjoyed the first step of Taken. Uncle Bob is the only one I've seen bring it up in the UFO community. Schellenberger's interview on Joe Rogan yesterday was nuts, and Alistair is a crook for sure. Yes, I would say 3 yeses there. Thank you as well, by the way. All I've seen from the Schellenberger Rogan interview is like a 7-minute clip of them debating Epstein and the fact, like the way that he died is suspicious. And like Schellenberger seems like awfully hesitant to entertain the idea that he was murdered, despite there being like so many things that at the very least, like Joe Rogan wasn't trying to make him agree that he was murdered. But he was just saying, like, bro, don't you think it's kind of weird that, like, the cameras were off, the guard was asleep, you know, X, Y, Z, all these other things. And Schellenberger just seemed kind of, like, he's like, oh, yeah, but. It's kind of like, bro, just say you think it's weird. It obviously is weird. You don't have to admit, you don't have to say it's real. But, like, it's obviously weird, dude. Come on. Epstein is still alive. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, I think a good theory is that these people literally, I think when you get to the elite rings of society, you have access and you develop connections with people who can create a clone of you. Oh, I love that I can just say whatever I want. I think you can get a clone made of you at high levels of society, and that when these people are finally can't wriggle and worm their way out of shit, their absolute last card is to just let their clone take the fall. And so when we see these like public depositions of Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein in jail or whatever, it's actually their clone. Now, I'm not saying that's absolutely the case, but if I found out that was the case, I would be like, I kind of had a feeling. I had a feeling that was probably it. Especially like the Ghislaine Maxwell thing. I don't even think we actually ended up talking about it on the channel, but like that video of her, and she just looks like objectively different. Like if you looked at photos of me throughout my life, my face has always had the same shape. My nose has always looked like this. My ears have always looked like that, despite these little holes. They came a bit later, but you know what I'm saying? The shapes generally don't change. Her face is different. It's almost as extreme as the whole Jim Carrey thing that happened recently, but not that extreme. But it's just objectively different. So it's kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Are we meant to just believe this? Are we being tested? Are the people who are questioning her aware of this? Are they thinking this? Are they realizing this? Are they seeing these comparisons and being like, it's obviously not the same person? Like this is how you lose your mind, people. This is how you literally just go off the deep end. This is how you end up in people's live chats, typing in capital letters, screaming, Yahweh is Baal, and you know what I'm saying, right? These kind of people. And I feel for them because I can see how it can happen. I really can. And that's why I think it's just so helpful to just be okay with being like, man, I don't know. It's interesting. And I definitely don't agree with the narrative that's fed to us, but you also don't have to come up with an answer. You can just be like, just like the guy in the truck, be like, bro, it's crazy. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's fucking wild. I need to go get my inhaler and just take a seat. Otherwise, I'm going to go to a mental hospital. Bahwe is Jarl. Exactly. That's the next step. Gary Stoven, celebrating 1 month, says, glad I found your channel, watching from UK and Yorkshire. Oh, dude, Yorkshire. The best accent in the world. The best accent in the world. The accent of Ned Stark, I believe, or at least somewhere around Yorkshire. Absolutely, I could listen to you all day. Gary Stoven. Parker XP says, I need a place in East Texas, free lake house. What's East Texas? Is that like a major city or area that I would know? I currently have places to stay in Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio. That's where I'm going to be staying. But who knows, man? Maybe we could do a little detour if you're close by, for sure. I will say, on my tour of the United States, we'll call it a tour. It sounds cooler. I challenge all of you to a game of pool. All right? Whoever wants to come out, play pool with me and have a couple beers, it's on. And if you beat me, I don't know. If you beat me, I don't know. We can do some kind of we'll do some kind of like challenge on an Instagram story or something. Some kind of punishment, like in Fear Factory. Is it Fear Factory where they would do punishments? Or like Impractical Jokers? I'll destroy you at pool. We'll see. We'll see. They don't call me the butcher for nothing, okay? They don't call me the butcher for nothing. That's all I'll say. Fear Factor. Yeah, that's the one, not Fear Factory. Dope. Do you play 8-ball online? I used to. I used to play Miniclip 8-ball a lot. But on a good table, I'm already making excuses. See, now I have an out. I have an out already. If it's not a good table, maybe I won't win. But if it's a good table and I'm warmed up and the weather is between 27 and 29 degrees and Venus is currently in retrograde, then I am undefeatable. Undefeatable. Pool proves you're a top guy, Josh. Thank you, Elbow Touch. I'll take that. And I would actually agree that generally people who can play pool, I'm just like, I feel like I tend to get along with them a bit more. I would say that. Josh, can you get Matthew Brown on the pod? That would be incredible. You'd ask the questions we need to know the answers to. Thank you for saying that it would be incredible, but I don't think Matthew Brown wants to do podcasts. I think if he did, he would have already been on Jesse Michaels. He would have already been on Area 52 and Third Eye Drops and all that kind of stuff, because I know he's connected to them, and you know, I know that could have happened if he wanted it to, and it hasn't. So unfortunately, I don't think that will happen, but I would speak to him for sure. I'd talk to anyone. I spoke to Alistair Dredd, who dresses up like a Yeti and blows bubbles at the bottom of a lake. All in the name of science. It's been over a decade since I played pool. Been playing since 5 years old, though. Well, get to the pool hall. Get in there, get practicing, because I'm coming to town. I'm coming to town, and I'm going to teach you all a lesson, okay? And teach you all a lesson. Bro, get Jason Georgiani on. Need to hear his Iran take. That would be cool. I do like Georgiani. I do like him. I emailed him a long time ago. Never heard back. It's okay. I'll go fuck myself. Don't worry, Jason. It's cool. No, I'm sure he gets a lot of emails, to be honest. But it might happen one day. It might happen one day. All weirdos love pool. I would agree with that. I would say pool is a bit of a weirdos game for sure. You did a stream with Matthew Brown, or did I hallucinate that? What you're thinking of is Matthew Brown did a Halloween special stream, and he asked me to come on and play some games. So we kind of hung out, we chatted for a while, and then we played Command & Conquer, and I absolutely nuked the shit out of him in front of everybody. To be fair, he actually wanted to play a different game, and we couldn't get it working. It was like some weird game that wasn't on Steam. This is very odd. Didn't work. So we just did a last minute Command and Conquer, and he hadn't played before. So, you know, fair play to him. I was completely bullying him in my own backyard, but it was good. He was a good sport, and I tried to go easy on him a little bit. There's not many people who can say that they dropped a nuke on a UFO whistleblower, and I did. I did that. Josh, are you feeling spiritually free now? I would say I feel freer than I did in Australia. I wouldn't say I feel like spiritually free though, but I would also say that I could be doing way more. I could be doing way more. Like I'm not like actively meditating regularly. I'm not doing a lot of things that could probably improve that. But I guess I also don't. I'm not. I mean, it could always be better, but I don't feel like I'm in a state of lack where I'm like low or needing that. Do you know what I mean? It's getting hectic over here in Aussie land. Oh yeah, I heard you guys got banned from Pornhub. So yeah, I could imagine times are tough right now. Unlucky about that. And also people are saying that like it's in the news in Australia that you're going to run out of oil. Like you've only got about a month's worth of petrol left. So is that real? Like what? That's kind of crazy. What's that about? And I guess this is just to do with like the war in the Middle East. I feel like they love that. I really do. And what I mean by that is like the second anything happens in the Middle East, it's kind of like, oh, everything costs $700 more now. Oh, a bomb went off in the Middle East. Now it's $20 for a bag of chips. It's just kind of like, really, bro, I think you might be playing on that a little bit. It's just a feeling I have, but I think you're extorting us just like you extort us every other day of our lives. But now you have an excuse to do it harder. Draco with 4 months says that autopsy pic of his neck injuries was so poorly done, almost like they never even tried to hide it. Might be a clone. Body had a prostate. He didn't. I have heard about this prostate thing. Yeah, again, it's wild. It's interesting. The thing is, though, it's just kind of like, and this is probably by design. It's like, I don't even know what to believe. Even when I'm reading things that are like, you know, align with my own confirmation bias, things that I want to believe in, I have this voice and I'm like, could be bullshit, dude. Could be misinformation. You could just be eating out of the hand of someone that wants to deceive you. And it's kind of like, oh my God, I don't know what to believe anymore. And I'm sure that's exactly what they want, right? Because, and I've heard this, that like when you can't control the information that people are ingesting, which they can't, obviously. And I think X was a really big linchpin in that information war. And, you know, don't get me wrong, X is an absolute cesspit, or it can be at times. But I also do think it is the sort of only place where there is this sort of like element of free speech. But I think the reason why it's probably a cesspit is because it is that, and they know they can't control it. The only other option left is to flood it with absolute garbage. So you can't control the information, but you just put in so much bullshit that people are just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. Then it kind of creates the same result. Order out of chaos. Exactly. Just as the Freemasons say. Oh, what a great bunch of guys, huh? Kelly Hall says, love to all. Thank you very much, Kelly, for the $10. Big love back to you. I hope you're doing well. And Parker XP says, hour east of Dallas. Use it as a stop if you like. Okay, an hour east of Dallas. All right. Maybe we can go visit the Dallas Cowboys. That would be a fantastic little stop off. How are they doing? I want to go see Houston Astros. I know it's going to be the World Cup, but I want to catch some baseball games as well. I'm there to see some ball games. I want to catch a fly ball. That's what I'm doing. Hopefully we can at least, you know, I'm going to go see the Dodgers in LA, 100%. And wherever else I can catch a game, I'm down. How about them? I know, right? The ball game? Yeah, baseball. There's a reason I grew up playing baseball. I was destined for this. I was destined to smack ball out of the park, and that is what we're doing here. My husband's favorite team is Dallas. Is that in the Dallas don't have a baseball team. They have a football team though, right? Do they? Yeah, they do. That's who the Dallas Cowboys. Dope. It's not football season when I'm there, unfortunately. American football's a weird game as well, at least from my perspective. It just stops and starts so much. It's almost like aggressive chess. That's exactly what it's like, actually. Wow, what a good comparison. It's angry, testosterone-fueled chess. Because football to me is like a very free-flowing game. Like, you don't stop very much. You got to keep the ball moving. It's like fast with your feet or with your hands or whatever kind of football you're playing. It's like a fast-paced game. American football is testosterone chess. Maybe it's something that I need to if I understood it more, I would appreciate it more. But because I do know it's a tactical game, right? It's extra. Well, they all are. But the reason why you're stopping and starting, right, is because you're employing new tactics on like new moves every time. That's chess. Josh, the Christopher Sharp interview yesterday on Martin Willis's podcast, UFO Live show, is worth a listen. Cheers to being weird. Thank you, Huskers. This Christopher Sharp guy, this is the guy who said that Trump is going to make a disclosure speech in July, like a month ago. And now he's just come out and said, actually, I think I was being lied to. I'm scared the UFO community is going to kill me. I'm exaggerating a bit there, but he's basically come out and said it's all bullshit, right? And it's the same guy. I think Vetted interviewed him as well, like maybe like a month or two ago. Wrong guy. Okay. That's okay. I'll go fuck myself. Christopher Sharp, Liberation Times. Okay. I think who am I thinking of? Because I swear, Mark Christopher Lee. There we go. Thank you. No, I don't know who Christopher Sharp is then, unfortunately. So I definitely haven't seen that. But I guess while we're on that, for those of you who have seen that, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you? This guy basically came out, and why I think this is interesting. Now, I don't know the guy. I've never spoken to him. But I was offered to interview him. I was approached and asked to interview him in around November. And I didn't end up doing it because I knew that he was just, it was because, one thing at a time, Josh. I was approached to interview him in November because he had a documentary coming out on the Rendlesham Forest incident. Okay. Now, I just didn't go for it. I don't know why. Like, I just didn't feel that pull towards it. So I just let it go. Then a couple of months later, he came out with this thing about Trump going to do a disclosure speech in July 8th, but he can't disclose who it is. Now, before I go any further, is this the same person or am I still confused? But I'm pretty sure the guy who did the interview with Vetted is the guy who also did the Rendlesham Forest documentary, and he also predicted a July 8th Trump disclosure speech announcement. If it is the same guy, which I'm pretty sure it is, he in the last 48 hours has basically said, oh, turns out my source is bullshitting me. They're not answering my calls anymore. I don't think this speech is going to happen. I'm sorry, UFO community. I'm not going to say who it was because I'm now scared for my life. I'm exiting UFO community. I don't want, I don't want that smoke, and I'm sorry. This has all happened in like the last 48 hours. The fact that he won't list the source on who it was, and he said that he isn't, whoever this source is, isn't even returning his calls. It feels like to me that that might have been a bit of like drumming up his documentary. I could be wrong. I don't know. But to like backpedal so hard. And it's very odd, right? Given that he said that first about July 8th, Trump disclosure. He said that. And then like a month later, Trump actually makes a tweet saying, you know, look into the UFO files. We haven't heard anything since then. And now he's coming out and saying, oh shit, no. Like, scratch that. When if he wanted to, he could continue kind of playing on it, considering moves have been made that actually align with his prediction publicly. So just because, according to him, his source isn't picking up the phone anymore, that he's like publicly backflipping and apologizing, it just seems like a bit of a weird overreaction. I don't know. When there have been moves made publicly that actually could align with what he said in the first place, it just seems a bit weird to me. It seems like something sus is going on, and I can't tell what it is. But you know, when you get that feeling where it's just like, something isn't adding up here. Like, this doesn't feel legitimate. I think that's how I feel about that. Something just feels off. And the only thing, given the timeline of it, that I can think of is maybe he did it to drum up interest in his documentary that he was approaching podcasters to promote for. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of sus dogs in the chat. I agree. Rain says the media push war stories before conflicts with all the 2027 talk and false flags. It feels like psychological prep. Watching friends and family treat mainstream news like gospel makes me sick. Yeah, bro. I feel you on that. One. I think, man, the world would be such a better place if everyone just threw away their TVs, or if like some big influencers like somehow banded together and like created a movement where even we just turned off our TV like 1 week per month or something like that. I feel like that would make such a big difference. I feel like even just doing something small like that, like if you could get people to collectively realize how much better they feel mentally after they turn their TV off, it could start like a cascading snowball effect of people being like, actually, I think injecting consistent amounts of fear and anxiety into my brain at 6 p.m. every night isn't good for me. It could actually have some kind of like organic onward flow. But the thing is, how do we get that to happen? I don't know. We need to dump the tech or severely limit it. Yeah. It's such a tough thing. Because it does enhance our lives in so many ways. But it's just like we have no moderation. And this is exactly what like the Hopi spoke about, right? In the Hopi prophecy, they draw those two parallel lines, and like one is technology and one is spirit. And the line of spirit has like stays straight, and the line for technology has just gone further and further away. Like it's just going crazy. And the prophecy is that like if man continues on this trajectory and doesn't sort of keep up his spirit, at least in line with it, or in sort of, you know, in like a unison way, that they're basically, people are just going to basically destroy themselves. And here we are. Okay. So basically, we're all about to destroy ourselves. Okay. Everyone understand? Okay. Enjoy lunch break, kids. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Okay. Go and tell dad what you learned at school today. Okay. Isn't there a law in Australia that kids under 18 can't use their devices? I think it might be 16. It's Armageddon. I love that. You spelled that perfectly. That's exactly how he says it. Armageddon. Welcome everybody to Armageddon. Okay. This is the end of the world. Armageddon. Okay. I think it might be 16 for kids in Australia, and it is a social media ban. It is under 16. Yeah. So it's like Facebook, Instagram, all of your socials. I think YouTube's included in that as well. And now we're just seeing kids back out on the street, blowing up letterboxes and beating each other up again. Just like the good old days. Please make a Zhang emoji. We need one in the chat. I will do that. I will do that. I will make a Discord sticker where it's his face saying, okay. And then we'll get a smaller version that we can use here on YouTube. Yeah, that's top priority. Old school bullying again. That's it, V8 Queen. Just like the good old days. Putting kids' heads in toilets and flushing it. Throwing rocks at each other. Yep. Society is healing. Content plan for the future. Good question, Russell. I was saying recently that this has kind of just turned into a exclusive live stream channel, which I'm not saying that's all it is going to be, but I've just found it harder to do videos while I'm moving around a lot and traveling. So I don't know what it's going to be for the like close future while I'm traveling. I'll still try to do videos when I can, but I just find them hard because, okay, there's like, for me, there's like two different kinds of videos that I can make. They can either be sort of deep dive rabbit hole videos, which I really do like doing, and they're generally anywhere from like 30 to 60 minutes, right? Like the Billy Corgan one, the one more recently about Jeffrey Epstein and Goyim and Jewish beliefs and all that kind of thing. Those are the ones I kind of like. What's far more feasible to do is like news stories. I don't know if people do people want that from this channel? I don't know. Like 20-minute videos just kind of like showing you something that's happened, but I feel like there's already enough of those. And I also don't want to feel like I'm at the whim of like waiting for things to happen and then I need to quickly make a video so I can get it out, in a timely fashion. And these are just, and one thing that I do believe in is doing just what makes you happiest. And I would say this is what I enjoy the most. But live streaming doesn't really seem to grow your YouTube channel at all. Like you just don't get really subscribers from it. Like it doesn't seem to push a video the same way they do with like these little 20-minute snappy videos. They just seem to perform way better. So, but then I also think like, do I need to grow the channel? Like, not really. I'm making enough money to survive now. So it's kind of like, obviously we would all like to grow and improve, but it's kind of like, I shouldn't feel that that's what I have to do because I don't actually need to. And also I'm aware of the fact that like, if my channel does get big, like big, I don't want to be like intercepted by people who maybe have a vested interest in like the messages that I'm putting out and maybe want to try to like control that. Like I kind of want to I want to fly under that radar in a way. So I don't know. What did you say, Russell? Those rabbit holes should not be abandoned always. No. And so okay, to kind of answer your question, while I'm traveling, I think the live streams will be flowing and I'll maybe try and do videos when I can. Silver Soul just mentioned the interviews. This is actually something that I think is more feasible, even though it means lots of editing. I think probably just mainly interviews and live streams. I've actually got a lot of stuff booked for this month, so I'll tell you guys that in a sec. But once my traveling is done and I'm back somewhere settling down again, I definitely want to try and get back to doing at least more videos. Keep doing what makes you happy. Thank you, Heidi. That is definitely the intention. Definitely. So what have I got coming up this month? Like I said, on Friday, Jason Samosa. Can't wait for that. Mick says organic growth at your pace and your way, Josh. Best way is your way. Yeah, I agree with that, Mick. And thank you, bro. I think that's one thing as well is like my channel grew so quickly. I'm almost kind of like happy just coasting how I am for a little while. Like I don't feel this need to like, once I hit 100K, I was just like, I don't even care anymore. I hit 100K. I got a YouTube plaque like a year ago. That was like beyond my wildest dreams. So the fact that it happened in a year, I was kind of like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I'm happy just kind of coasting for a while. But Jason Samosa on Friday. Then I've also got the interview with Rachel Vaughn that'll be dropping very soon. Next week, I'm going to be live with Nathaniel Gillis on this channel. And I'm also recording with a guy called Arthur Kwan, who I think you guys are going to really enjoy that. You might not have heard of him, but I think you're going to really enjoy the conversation. Then I'm recording with Dana Kipple. And then a few days after that, I'm going to be live with Chris Ramsey. Yeah, that's the exclusive. Chris is coming on the channel. I'm excited to have him here. So that will be live. So some of those are live, some of those are pre-recorded. I think what works best is going live with other creators, like a live stream with other creators, and pre-recorded interviews with people who are like, authors, or they kind of have a body of work or a story that I want to explore. I think that's like the better format. So like Eric Hecker, he's a whistleblower, so I can kind of sit there with some premeditated questions and explore his story. Same with Rachel Vaughn. But with creators, I think the live stream is good. Nathaniel Gillis is going to be live, but I've already interviewed him in a pre-recorded interview. So we've sort of already explored him and his work. So I think doing it live the second time is suitable. Come on, Josh. Think. It's gone. God damn it. It's gone. If it comes back, I'll let you guys know. I think you're a more detailed companion piece to Red Koala type material. As long as you're feeding us in the style you're doing, you're okay. Yeah, thanks, man. I would definitely say Red is one of my many inspirations, which, is kind of, people might think that's weird because he is a content creator, but he's sort of like, I call him the Lord of the Clips because I use his clips all the time, but I do try to sort of deliver it in more of the Polarity style, which if you go back to the earliest videos, we've always tried to be like a highlights channel in a way, like a news channel, but like that's fun, that can get a little deep, can get a little esoteric as well. But ultimately just kind of having fun at the same time, which I don't think many other people do. At least not the way I do it. Not saying I don't find other channels fun, by the way, but I think I really don't take myself too seriously. Also, you're the only one doing throwbacks, which I think is highly overlooked. We got to do, yes. Yeah, I would think that's a really good point of difference on this channel as well. That's a really good point of difference that I think I have, is I do love the old stuff. And that's something that I'll always do, 100%. Is Josh getting chubby in the face, guys? Yes, Hoggy. Yep. When you can't walk for 2 weeks, but you continue eating like you are still training every day, you will get fat. But the good thing about fat is you can burn it off. So I'm trying my best, sir. Give me a couple of weeks. We'll get there one thing at a time. We've only just started walking again. Achy Balls is here with a big fat red hundo. My man Achy, thank you very much, mate, for your support every stream. And he says, this world has been edited to the point it's unrecognizable. Lives are authentic and in the moment. Thumbs up, Josh. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And I value that too. I value that too. And your body has been invaded. Yes, we were playing host to a parasite. That's now gone. But it did damage the temple, and we are going to have to rebuild it, unfortunately. We were on a great run too, and then we fell down a set of stairs like an absolute idiot. Lives are authentic and in the moment. And that is something that that's inadvertently, like I feel like I've kind of carved out my own little niche in the wider niche of like, ufology and conspiracies and whatever. Not many people, if any, were really doing regular live streams. Some people were doing them, but as like a once a week thing. I always pictured this as like a daily thing. I wanted it to be a daily thing where people just kind of like maybe don't watch every show, and that's okay. But it's sort of like, it's something that can be there for everyone to kind of like meet at every day. Like literally, yeah, like a campfire, like a hangout, like a daily hangout. And that's like community too. So you build community, you build a space, people can hang out, they feel comfortable, and the show's kind of always happening, and you just kind of tune in whenever you have time. That's sort of like always been the vision, and I do think it's kind of worked. So that's what I should do. I just you can't get caught up in doing what other people are doing. Just got to keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to keep doing. Distant Haze says people shouldn't write things off until the date has passed. How do we know the 8th of July is not insignificant? It would tie in with Disclosure Day. Yeah, well, Distant Haze, that's exactly why I feel like this Chris Sharp thing, or whatever his name is, whatever Chris he is, why this is so weird. Because when this Chris guy made this prediction, I think a lot of people were kind of like, okay, I don't really know who this guy is, but maybe he's onto something. Who knows? Went on a couple of podcasts, whatever. And then Trump comes out and is like, all right, we're going to look into these UFO files. I personally was kind of like, oh, so that Mark Christopher Lee guy was right. Like maybe he was onto something. Damn, okay, he's right. And then he comes out and is like, oh, my source isn't replying to me anymore. So it's all bullshit. I'm too scared to name my source now. Everyone thinks my credibility is shot. I'm going to leave UFO land. That's basically the things that he's kind of saying. So it's like, what triggered that? Especially to say my source isn't answering me anymore. So it's like, it's not like his source has said, I was wrong, I lied, I fooled you. He's just not said anything. But Trump has actually made a move that goes along the line of the prediction. So it's like, what has actually triggered him to backflip publicly that hard? That's what I mean. It doesn't actually make sense. It only makes sense if there's something sus going on. Tish Kiz. Oh, actually, Draco gifted 10 memberships. Draco, legend, sir. Thank you very much for your generous gift to the Knights of Weirdonia. Appreciate you very much, Draco. You're in Thailand at the moment, is that right? Those are your pictures going up in Discord at the moment. I hope you're kicking back and having a beer and enjoying the nice, slow lifestyle over there, my man. Thank you very much. Tish Kiz says, I saw you on Nuggets News. Love you both. Love both of you guys. You do an amazing job. Glad this makes you happy. Definitely found your niche. Are you leaving Bali soon? Yes. And thank you as well, Tish. I'm glad you liked the interview on Nugget News. I am not in Bali. I left Bali a while ago. I left Bali at the end of February. So since then, I've been in Vietnam. And I'll be here for about a month. And then I'm going to Thailand. I'll be with Draco. We might even have a beer together on Railay Beach. If he's still there, which he probably won't be. But that's okay. Yeah, Thailand next. Looking forward to it. We got Thailand next. Then we got the Philippines. And then the land of the free, baby. Yep. I can't wait. I can't wait till I get in. I can't wait till I get in the land of the free. It's going to be so good. That's going to be the best part. That's going to be the best part, is just walking through the gates at LAX and being welcomed into the land of the free. Freedom tour. I cannot wait. I think not so much these days, but sometimes people still think that, like, when I call it the land of the free, or I refer to, Fahrenheit as freedom units, some people still think I'm like teasing America. And I'm like, dude, I love you guys. I genuinely do. I admire your patriotism, your constitution. You guys have an awesome country. American people are great. Can't wait. Aki, we did that one. Thank you again, brother. Big super chat. Appreciate you. Rain says, if this is making you financially stronger, keep going, mate. You're helping people. You help me. Lol, I'm being serious. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Rain. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, like live streaming versus making videos. I don't really know what's financially better. I mean, if you make a video that does really well, that's definitely more financially viable. But they take longer. And then you might put it out and it doesn't do well. So it's weird. You might do a live stream that randomly does like where like people are doing lots of super chats and it gets lots of views. Then it's like, oh wow, that live stream was really good. You might do a live stream where it's the opposite, and it's so you just never really know. And that's why I think you shouldn't even think about that kind of shit really, and just kind of do what makes you happy. And I think that like authentic excitement, and like with anything you do, by the way, is always going to make you create a better product. And like you could apply that, I think, to like your trade. If you work with your hands and you build, you're probably going to build a better, I don't know, cabinet or a house. You can tell I'm not a fucking tradesperson. Build a better desk, a cabinet, if that's what you love doing. If you love building desks and someone is like, dude, I really need you to build me something else that isn't a desk, you're probably not going to do as good of a job because you hate doing that. You just want to build desks. Okay. It's the same kind of thing. It was such a shit analogy, but at least you guys understand what I'm saying. That's what matters. Taris, thank you very much for the 5 gifted, sir. Taris is not only gifting memberships out here, but he's also gifting 3 months of Spotify to people in Discord, by the way. Now, they're probably taken, so relax. Don't go trying to join the Discord now just to pick up 3 months free Spotify, okay? You seagull. You goddamn seagull. That the person who went and looking for the Discord link just then, you're a seagull. But he's in the members section gifting people free Spotify months, okay? What a guy. What an absolute legend, Taris. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. And Russell the Love Muscle. What a name. Russell the Love Muscle, you little freak. Thank you very much for coming back as a member. Glad to have you back. And guys, remember, when you're a member, you get access to the member section. And I don't even think, I think the members who are active in there will speak for themselves on this. It's a very special community that we have there. And I might be biased. Well, I am biased, but I think I'm speaking from a completely objective, unbiased point of view right now. And that is, you've just got people there who have never met each other, who every day are saying good morning, checking in, sharing stories, getting in voice chats, playing video games together, all people who just met through this community on the common ground that we all agree that the world is a very fucking weird place and we don't know what's going on, but we find comfort in the fact that we all agree that the world's crazy and we don't know what's going on. And it's created a community, and I just think that's amazing. And yeah, as Mark said, some people have met each other. Some people have formed relationships. This is not a dating service, though, and it is not a cult, but these things do happen. They have happened, and they continue to happen. But this is not a cult or a dating service. That's just a disclaimer, by the way. If dating happens, more power to you. Good luck. I wish you nothing but success. Josh, are you going to schedule any meet and greets in our land of the free? Well, contact in the desert, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to actually make, I know I've said this before, and I know my members are going to give me shit because I always say stuff and I never actually do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay. One thing at a time. I want to make exclusive Contact in the Desert t-shirts. I was actually playing around with just some little designs today, just for fun, but that's going to be a thing. We're going to get some Polarity stickers, and we're going to get Polarity Contact in the Desert t-shirts for people who attend the event. How we do that, I'm not sure yet, because we're going to have to figure out how many people are attending. We do have a Contact in the Desert channel in Discord, which is a public channel. So people who are thinking of coming to Contact in the Desert, you can figure out people maybe you want to travel with, maybe get accommodation with, whatever. We'll organize meetups and stuff in there. As for other states, honestly, I don't know if I'll do a meet and greets, just because I'm not really someone, I don't really like to I feel weird, honestly, to be like, everyone come and meet me because I'm fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of weird to me. But, I think probably if I'm in a city where I'm just by myself and I say, hey, do I have any people who follow me from this city? Can you show me around? Let's go get a beer. Let's just go do something. That would be cool. that would be more like my vibe. So it'd probably be like I could only do like 1 or 2 people, but I would much rather something like low key and chill than try and like organize something around me, because I don't know, I just feel like pressure. You know what I mean? Not pressure, but just like, you know, I don't even generally do things for my birthday because I just feel weird like organizing shit that's about me. It just feels weird. So no. Sorry, no. But I do want to meet people, you know, so I got to find that balance. Yvonne Pandora says, I just love being a weirdo. Wish I could send more. Yvonne, I appreciate everything that you do. I appreciate the fact that you just watch every single stream. You're in the live chat before the streams even start most of the times. And I see that. I see you guys in the live chat before they start. And when I see people chatting, I just think this is crazy. And I'm so grateful. So, Von, thank you. It's more than enough. Monkey Sausage with 7 months says, I can't get access to the Discord members area. It keeps failing to connect my YouTube to Discord account. Have you tried turning it off and on again? No, I'm kidding. But have you tried from a different, like from a PC or a laptop or a different device? Try that, you know, delete your cookies, all that garbage. If it's still happening, bro, email me and let me know, or DM me or one of the mods in Discord, and I'll fix it up for you. I'll fix it up for you, bro, because you've been a member for more than 6 months, so you're clearly dedicated to the cause. I will fix it up for you. I promise. We've got to get you in there. It's too special for you to be missing out. Also, what I want to say is, I think I'm going to create a second members channel for the generals, which are the 12-month members. So anyone who's been around for a long time will have their own designated high council channel to continue to be extra weird amongst themselves. Rain says, when you get to LAX, watch out for Bruce Willis. He runs around the airport with a 9mm. Okay, I will keep an eye out for Bruce Willis. I don't want to get in the way of him or his 9mm. So thank you for the heads up. Generals, yes. So for those who have been around for a long time, you would remember, if you are a member and you go back and watch, I think the very first members video that I ever did, I kind of explained like the tier system of the badges that you guys have next to your name. And they had names. I can't remember what they were because I kind of just like, you know, you have ADHD, you have ideas, and then you find new ideas and you forget about the old ones. But basically they had names. And there was like, I can't remember what the first one was, but then there was like a weirdo, senior weirdo, major weirdo. And then so these are like military ranks, right? Because the original versions of the badges actually had stars on them, like military stars. So as you got a new badge, you got a star on your badge. So they also had like military style names. And the 12-month badge was a general. So I'm gonna make a general's chat. So for those of you with an orange badge, you will have your own badge. Yeah, that's right. And no one even knew what the 12-month badge was until the first person hit it. And I'll probably do the same with the. There's only one more badge after that, by the way, which is 24 months. So once that is unlocked, that's all of the tier systems done. I like to gamify things. Okay, I think I'm a gamer. I'm a nerd. So when I see options to like, I mean, you literally level up in the Discord just from chatting. There's like a leveling system. So, you know, when I see the ability or the option to turn things into like a bit of a game and make it fun, I generally do because I'm a nerd. Tish gifted a membership. Tish, thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. And also, who got that one? I used to force people to say thank you. The real Senzu. He's already said thank you. See, we have a generous bunch of people here who also know how to use their manners. We love that. Love you guys. That's the kind of energy we want around here. Yoni says, I banned myself from Discord. Is that because you were having too much fun? Is that because you were spending too much time in there? You would, you know, can't blame you. You're only human. It is a great time. It is a good time in there. I think most people have had a point where they have been on Discord chatting and they're like, I need to stop this because I should have been in bed an hour ago. It's what happens. It's a good place to be. And because there is people from around the world, it's active 24/7. So it literally feels like no matter when you want to get off, it kind of feels like you're leaving a party that's like in full swing. So it's hard. It's hard to leave. Angry Drunken German. What a name. Thank you very much. He's gifted 5 memberships as well. That is 5 new Knights of Weirdonia. Welcome, guys. Use your manners. Say thank you to the Angry Drunken German. That's one guy you want to use your manners with. If there's one person you don't want to piss off, it's an angry drunk German. So please say thank you. Kelsey, with 4 months, says raw, meow, raw. See, I'm just so glad we have people dropping such insightful comments. We've got Achy Balls, who's regularly giving us cryptic wisdom from beyond the ether. And then you have Kelsey with her absolute cryptic, equally cryptic wisdom. Raw, meow, raw. Thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate you very much. Bleak says, don't call me out like that. Oh, don't worry, bro. It's not just you. We've all been there. Yes, it's hard to leave Discord even when we've been in the campfire for 7 hours. Yeah, I know. I know. It's like saying goodbye to your friends, even though you know you'll see them tomorrow. Hello, everyone. Sorry I haven't been on much IRL. Sucks. Don't worry, bro. We're always here. I hope things are getting better for you as well. I can't get membership, so if anyone's tried, thank you so much. Yeah, there's a weird thing with, first of all, if you want to receive a membership or the ability to potentially receive one, you have to have it turned on. So if you go up to your chat in the 3 dots, there is an option there to say, I want to receive gifted memberships. But if you have a really old YouTube account, you can't. I don't know why. It's just YouTube. YouTube be YouTubing. Some people saying they can't even gift them. I don't know about that. Excuse me. Yeah, people fall asleep in them as well. I've done that. I've streamed movies for you guys and just completely fallen asleep. And my moderators have to kick me out of the Discord call because I'm asleep. And the stream is just on. Shout out to my mods who tuck me into bed, by the way. See, these people are working overtime for me. Tucking me into bed. Muting people who keep screaming Yahweh is Baal in the chat. These guys got their work cut out for them. They really do. What else has been going on? What else has been happening? So, we had Eric Hecker interview. What did you guys think of that? I got a lot of comments of people going like, man, Josh, I don't know how you sat through that. I don't know. Like, people are saying like, man, he's so condescending to you. Honestly, I didn't feel that in the moment. When I started seeing all those comments, I was like, really? Is he? But like, I don't think so. I think what was happening is exactly what we spoke about at the end of the conversation, which is him saying, he's like, I'm from New York. I'm from New York. Okay. This is just the way that I am. And I do think that's how I felt the whole way through. Like, this guy is just, it's just who he is. Like, they're from, people from New York are not necessarily known for their manners or their meekness. Okay. Like, when I was in Canada, I would bump into people and they would like apologize to me. And they'd be so like, oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. In New York, if I bumped into someone, I would probably get a bullet in my head. Okay. That's the kind of difference between the people. So when he sounds like he's speaking a little bit more rougher around the edges and struggles to let me finish my sentences and talks a bit louder than I was, I just think that's the way that he is. And, I think that's just a part of like, I think understanding that and being aware of that creates a better interview as well. Like, if I was sitting there getting like my back up, being like, keeps interrupting me, keeps talking loudly, blah, 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 then I feel like I'm going to create a shit interview there because I'm all in my head about like trying to get the mic and stuff like that. I think, I actually thought it was all good. I like that he kept saying your name, Josh. It's funny you say that because there were also a lot of comments of people saying, I can't stand the way he keeps using your name. Again, didn't really bother me. If anything, it's nice when people use your name, I think. I do understand that it is a technique used to like sort of coax people in and make them feel friendly and like be more likely to buy into your story. I do know that that is a thing. But I think I'm just like that kind of stuff just doesn't. I think when you're aware of that shit, like it just doesn't work, right? Yeah, and the whole Clayton thing. And he even mentioned Clayton in the interview, which I loved. I don't know if you probably can't tell, but if you look closely, when he says Clayton, you can see there's probably like a little subtle smile on my face because I'm immediately like, yes, mate, I know who Clayton is very well. What was I saying? Where was I going with that? Yeah, I don't know. God damn it. But no, I enjoyed the interview. And he was super chill, super kind. He sent me a whole bunch of stuff and I tried to include it in the beginning of the show. Again, if I loved editing, I probably could have really gone through the whole thing and overlaid some of it, which, you know, kind of part of me wishes I did, but I just don't like editing. So I just put it at the start. But yeah, he sent me a whole bunch of cool footage and photos of him in Antarctica that I'd never seen before. So, you know, cool guy. You hold your shit together so well. I do seem to get a lot of comments, people saying that they like commend my ability to let the interviewer talk, let the interviewee talk. To me, that's just having a conversation with someone. Active, you listen. You just listen, like you're just listening to their answer. That's what they're here for me to listen. It's sort of like their show, you know what I mean? I'm just there to probe at them. I usually tell people at the start, like I might ask you some vague questions and then I'll pick at it. Like I'll hear your story and I'll just start getting questions that I want to pick at. Josh, how you feeling with a tummy problem? Hope medication is working. Much better. Thank you. We are parasite free, thankfully. Rain says, do you think Ross Coulthart, are people calling him Coulthart on purpose to call him retard? Or do people actually think his name is Coulthart? Because it's Coulthart with a T. But I do see people saying Coulthart a lot. And I'm wondering, is this like a joke? People calling him like a retard? I don't know. Let me know. Do you think Ross Coulthart may have been captured by the powers that be? I'm sus. He has no reason to not explain things. He is not in the realm of a whistleblower, but he is supposed to be us. I'm worried. As in, like, he's supposed to be one of us. I don't know. I think Ross is... I think he at least is doing his best. That's all I feel like I can say with some conviction. Because given that he doesn't leak his sources, we have no real way to actually know if he's being like coerced or misled or given bullshit, because we don't even really know where he's getting his information from. The only reason I think he at least is doing his best is because I've seen his journey as a journalist. And I believe that he has a lot of integrity. So I don't think he's someone who would like sell out or do it for the money. I think he's very invested in what he does. Whether he's being strung along without him knowing, I don't know. That I'm not sure of. And you know, I think that's okay, right? I think you can still listen to someone and still have questions about what they're saying. I think that's healthy. Ross is definitely partially handcuffed. I would agree with that, actually. I would agree with that. And I would say that's probably kind of like by design in a way. And like this is sort of what Eric was talking about, is that these people who are on a short leash. I guess the thing, and I tried to push back on Eric about this, and he pushed back at me very firmly. but he's from New York. He's talking here. You know what I mean? So I respect it. I respect it. It's the way he does things. But I did try and push back on the fact that, you know, yes, these people are on a short leash, these whistleblowers. But if someone was in these programs and they did want to come forward with actual information, aren't they going to be on a leash by design? Right? They're going to be on a leash. Like, that's just the way that it would be. So I think if you automatically dismiss someone just because they are on a short leash, I feel like you might be throwing out the baby with the bathwater, because you're not considering like perhaps this person does have good intentions, but they are on a short leash. Like, I feel like that could be a possibility. But Eric seems to think basically no way. Like, if you are coming forward, but you like can't say this or you can't say that, you're basically just automatically part of a disinformation program. I don't know. Like, that is something I'm like, you know, I don't fully disagree with it, but I don't fully agree with it either. But some of the other things that Eric would say, I was like, yeah, that resonates a lot. That resonates a lot. It was a cool conversation. It's the first person I've really spoke to who's been, I mean, he was a contractor for Raytheon. Like, it's a pretty wild place to be. Actually, you know what? I'll pull this up now, actually, because I actually didn't notice this until I'd already finished editing the video. And I did see that someone noticed it straight away, like in some of the very early comments on the video. But look at this. And I wish I noticed it first and I got to actually ask Eric about this. And, you know, could be nothing. Could be a coincidence. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat to see if anyone knows what I'm actually going to pull up here. So it was in the video, but I didn't get to touch on it. And now I'm just trying to find it. This one? No. Sorry, guys. It won't take me too long. Come on, Eric. Here it is. Suki, pull that up. Oh my God, the extra large version. All right. I'm not even going to... Can you guys see what I'm referring to? I'm not going to call it out until someone notices it. Yeah. What is on his hat? Looks like a Freemason logo. Eric? Now, maybe he just picked it up at the dollar store. You know, little fun little dress up hat. Who knows? I don't know. I didn't see it until after I spoke to him, unfortunately. And you know, I'm really fascinated by the Freemasons, because as much as we hear, I'll leave this up for a little bit. People can keep looking at it. People can keep speculating that he's a Baal worshipper. I'm not saying that's the case, by the way. But one thing that I find interesting about the Freemasons is that I really struggle with the idea that they are all this inherently dark and evil Satan worshipping society. Like, I just don't believe that. I don't. Even though so much of the testimony that we hear does talk about that, and I do believe it's true. Like, I do believe at the high levels they are doing dark shit. I do believe that. And I do think at its highest levels, it probably is that. And like, there's obviously this connection to like Lucifer being the light bringer. And, you know, okay, I'm really just extracting thoughts that I have here, and I don't know how they connect together, but like, these are the kind of things that swirl through my mind. Okay. When we've spoken about Michael Aquino in the past, one thing that was really interesting is that like so many people would sort of come out and defend him and basically say that like you don't understand. You don't actually understand sort of what it is that he was doing, what he believes in. Like you're just looking at it on the surface level, which I fully accept. And on the surface level, the guy is praising black magic rituals in the Valesburg Castle in Germany. He is ripping daggers out of their sheath in a black garb with his eyebrows curled into horns. So forgive me. Forgive me for thinking that it seems dark as fuck. Okay? It does look like it. He did write the playbook on psychological operations too. Forgive me for thinking it's dark. But when you, and again, I haven't actually dived into this stuff enough because it's so murky and I don't, again, don't know what to believe. But basically, there's their sort of idea of Lucifer as being some kind of light bringer seems to translate into Freemasonry as well. And that this is all, and it's all about like, inner work, knowing thyself. It almost like there's like strains of Gnosticism of like this idea of gnosis seems to be woven through these things as well, which are things that I talk about. And like inner work, knowing thyself, like this is all what I think this is good stuff. But it seems like at the bottom levels of these pathways that all seem to kind of bottleneck up into something that we at least perceive as dark, it kind of starts off in this kind of like consciousness exploration of like light and darkness and like kind of all the topics that we talk about on this channel, really. And that I'm not saying what the truth is, but at least in these pathways, it all kind of leads back to something that we would refer to as like Lucifer. So it's like, how did we get to there from here? So I don't think these people that get brought into Freemasons or are interested in it or are just sitting at lower levels are inherently bad. I feel like a lot of them might even be people just like us who have clued on to the fact that we live in a fucking matrix and that like reality on a surface level is very like mundane and curated and orchestrated and fake. And that people who begin kind of scratching at that itch of like wanting to know more and understand more about the way things work are kind of brought into this secret society where these secrets are kept to, create an inner and outer order, right? Yeah, layers and factions, exactly. But then all of those pathways seem to bottleneck into something extremely dark. And I sort of mentioned this with Rachel Vaughan, and that conversation will be coming out soon. She spoke about Freemasons in Australia, and she sort of said that like, this is like basically it's like they've taken knowledge and corrupted it. So they've turned something that should be free for everyone and turned it into a control mechanism. And they do that by creating secret groups, creating ritual. And then at these highest levels, they require some kind of like sacrifice, get some blood in the game. I don't know. And, I would be lying if I said I wasn't fascinated by it, by like, like the Rosicrucians, Freemasonry. Like there is absolutely a part of me that's kind of like, I want to know. Not because I want to be one, not because I want to be part of a secret society, but like I just want to know what the fuck you guys are doing and what it's about. Would you guys do it? If you guys were approached by someone who was like, look, we'll show you what's up. Come and become a Rosicrucian, Freemason, join the OTO, whatever. Would you do it? Nope. Hell no. Absolutely. No, sir. No. Okay. Armin talks a lot about this. The secrets are in the ancient Greek. Doesn't surprise me. We'll get Armin back on the show soon on a live stream. We will do that. Absolutely. Someone was mentioning something about Chuck Swindle Jr. earlier. He's going to come back on the show too. We're going to have Chuck back on a live stream in April. But basically, I've got guests kind of booked all through March. So we're kind of full up now, but we'll get Chuck back on in April. We might even get Armin back on in April too. I think we'll definitely do that. Armin live will be a wild one. It really will. It really will. He's a wild man. I might have to give him a little pep talk before we start and be like, all right, bro, come on. Stay between the rails with me. Stay with me, Armin. He's like a horse that could just kick and run at any moment. And when you're live, there's no, there's no fixing that. You just got to go with the horse. Tom DeLong, when? Oh, Clay Eclipse. Maybe one day. Probably not anytime soon, unfortunately. Don't hold your breath. Let him run free. I know. The thing is, though, if I let him run free, it'll just be me kind of sitting there just like, just probably like this, just kind of laughing, not really knowing what to say and just letting him go. I would just become part of the audience, and I would be quite content with that because the guy, he doesn't need an interviewer. I mean, look at his show. He just goes for an hour. He's just so good at it. Do you know about the Mexican case of Carlos Diaz? Yes, I do. He has photos with General Corso, Bob Dean. Oh, I didn't know he has photos with them. I've never seen photos of Carlos Diaz or with those people that you mentioned, but I've shown his photographs on the channel many, many times. I've referenced them a lot. Super interesting because they depict what many people have explained, like this craft that this looks like the skin of the craft is alive, glowing, roiling like the surface of the sun. Like his photographs depict all of those things. Joey the Pro gifted 5 memberships. Joey, you really are a pro. You're a professional weirdo. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's get some love for Joey. Comrade with 3 months says, hey, weirdos, just wanted to drop in and say hi. Josh, you're great, and this community is fantastic. I wish I met more people like you, IRL. Comrade, thank you, bro. That's very kind of you. I wish I met more people like you guys IRL as well. It's weird, isn't it? It's such like a people like us generally we're busy doing this. Okay, it's a shame really because we're busy in our homes in live chats. So when we actually go out into the real world, the probability of us encountering another is almost zero because most likely we're in our little digital autist safety caves looking up weird things on the internet. Or if on the off chance we are also out in the public, we're probably not going to fucking talk to you. Okay? Because we're trying to be out there for as little time as possible so we can get back to our cave. So, yeah, that's why this doesn't happen. But that is why you join the Polarity Discord and you meet people on there. And then who knows, you might have friendships blossom. You might meet up with some cool people IRL. You might even find your husband or wife in there if you're lucky, but it is not a dating app. I must say that. It's not a dating app, okay? Yes, we have had some successful relationships form, but it is not a dating app. And Joey the Pro, you little freak. Thank you for becoming a member, Joey. Love it. Need a secret handshake? I think we need to get some good merch. Not that I don't think my merch is good, but I think we need to pump out some merch that like people really want to wear and rep. So that way, if you ever see someone in the wild and you're both wearing the tee, that's it. It's done. You're not even, that's the icebreaker out of the way. You know what I mean? You could, if you saw someone, if you're wearing Polarity shirt, or even if only one of you is wearing it, it's kind of like it's like a dog whistle in a way. You know what I mean? Like you just have the dog whistle. So if anyone sees you, they know that that's the icebreaker done. Contacting the desert merch first, Josh. Yes. Yep. I'm working on it. You guys know I don't do things linearly. Okay. I was actually thinking about this today because, thinking about the fact that life is hard, unmedicated. Now we don't want to talk about that because, it does trigger some people who can't come to grips with the fact that other people may experience reality slightly different to they do, but that's okay. That's okay. Everyone learns things at different rates, different paces. I was thinking about the fact how, like, a lot of the time, those people, they're like, oh, you can't survive without taking meth. That's generally like the retarded argument that you get. But it's really interesting because I think as a baseline in a non-linear fashion, which sounds crazy. Okay. Like, I agree, it sounds crazy. But this is why being productive for me is really hard, because I'm constantly thinking about not just what I'm doing, but like the things that I need to do parallel to that, the things that come after. And like, I'm somehow able to think of all of them at once, constantly, which is annoying. It can be good sometimes. You can cut through stuff quickly, but you can also struggle to just stay focused on one thing because your mind's constantly just like 7 steps ahead and just kind of working overtime. You would think that's what taking meth, okay, or medication for ADHD, you would think that's what the effect would be, because people are like, oh, you need speed to survive. You would think taking speed makes your brain go like crazy, crazy, blah, blah, blah. It's not the case at all. I take medication and I'm like, oh, now I can just focus on my task. Now, when I get up in the morning, I can think about putting my socks on, my other sock on, my shoe, my other shoe. I'll go and brush my teeth now, finish brushing my teeth, and then I'll do the next task. If I don't do that, I'm kind of like, I wake up and I'm like, all right, so socks, shoes, brush my teeth. Once I brush my teeth, I got to put this on, and then I'm going to head out to the door, probably go get a coffee, and then I'll come back. And then after like 2 minutes, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do, it's all too much. It's all too much. And then you end up just getting this like task paralysis of being like, I fucking can't do anything. So I don't know. I'm sure there's people who are hearing this and they're being like, yep, preach, I feel it. But I feel like there are people who probably don't understand this. And, you know, there are some people who you're never going to convince. They just think it's like a discipline issue or something like that. But it's real. It really is real. And the fact that you can't stop thinking non-linearly is not, it's not a good thing. It can be great, but there's no off switch. That's the problem. Executive dysfunction, bro. Yep, that's the one, Wrath. You know. Or you accidentally skip the socks and shoes and leave for coffee. Oh, Tabby. When I was just settling into Bali, that's when it was kind of, I mean, it's some days are harder than others. Okay, I'll tell that story first. See, this is an example right now. The amount of times I would be like, oh, I'm going to go do work on my laptop at a nice cafe. I would like kind of get ready, pack my bag. Yep, got my keys for the scooter, got my helmet. Get to the cafe, didn't bring my laptop. Brought my mouse. Yeah, brought my portable battery. Brought my AirPods to make sure no one could, hear what I'm doing. But I don't actually have my laptop, and which is quite important when you want to do work on your laptop. So the amount of times that shit would happen would just be like ridiculous. And like when it would happen, I would just be like, I would just laugh because I'd be like, dude, you are so retarded. My life. Yeah, I feel you, Tabby. Not the mouse. Yeah, I would be a public mouse user. I would. I don't care. I know it's a bit obnoxious. Most people are just on the trackpads. No, I bring full mouse. And MMO mouse too, by the way. I bring this bad boy to the cafe with me. Full 15 buttons and all. Look, 3-finger grip. 3-finger grip, 12 thumb buttons. Yeah, we're taking this puppy to the cafe, baby. I don't mess with trackpads, especially when I'm trying to edit. I already hate editing enough. Okay, I want as many tools as I can to come with me. I'm gonna make this shit harder than it needs to be. Okay. KVLT says I went to OTO meetings for like 6 months here in Florida, the Orlando chapter, and it was so lame. Lol. D&D nerds. Check out Libnut, Null, and Psychonaut book. Interesting you say that, and doesn't surprise me, right? It doesn't surprise me that the people interested in like magic would be D&D nerds. But the thing is though that I can't get past is like you know, those people are generally kind of, even though they're nerds and we call them like, oh, D&D nerds, it's like, well, nerds are generally like smarter, right? That's why they're nerds. Not in all cases. I think there's a difference between like geeks and nerds, I guess. But also the fact that like magic and the idea of it has been around for a long time. So just like worshipping Baal, just like sacrificing children to Baal, something that's been around forever, it must be because it's real. There is some kind of effect that it has. There must be something to it. Otherwise, people wouldn't do it. And I do think that is the case with human sacrifice, unfortunately. But I also think that this probably is the case as well with magic. Let's call it magic with a K, to be specific. Now, I'm not out here, waving wands around, casting spells, but I do think that there's something to it. Few people are bailing out. Goodbye, Rambro. Thank you for stopping in. Have a good day, brother. And Marinda, good night. Thank you for stopping in. Shrunken heads. That's like some voodoo stuff, isn't it? That's like voodoo. That's like Haitian magic. That's the kind of shit the Haitians will be doing. Is that racist? Hopefully not. I mean, if it's true though, is it still racist? I don't think it is racist, by the way. But if someone was to say that that is racist, what if it's actually true that the Haitians are playing with shrunken heads and doing voodoo magic? If that's actually true, can it still be racist? I don't think so. I actually think putting what do we call these terms? Like racist, bigot, Nazi, fascist. Like, you know how people like to weaponize those words about people who say things? I don't think you should be allowed to do that if someone is just stating something that is a fact. If it's a fact that Haitians are dabbling with voodoo magic and eating cats and shrunken heads, it should be okay to say that. Even though it sounds like a horrible thing to say about Haitians, if it is true, then welcome to the world, unfortunately. If there is a group of ultra-Orthodox Jews who are performing Babylonian black magic to usher in the return of the Messiah, that should just be the way that it is, not anti-Semitic. If there are videos of them openly saying this, and when... This is what I find interesting as well, is like you see so many of these commentators going like, oh my God, anti-Semitism is on the rise, like the anti-Semitism is getting out of hand. And it's kind of like, have you ever asked why? Do you think people just suddenly wake up one morning and go, fuck the Jews? No, they don't. It's generally because of the actions that they're taking that cause a reaction, which gets labeled as anti-Semitism. So you need to think like, what are you doing? That's because people don't just spontaneously go, you know what? Fuck the Jews. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. I woke up. I feel a bit pissed off today. Fuck the Jews. I'm sticking to it. That doesn't happen. It generally happens because you're doing something that people don't like. Now, and in this case, it is basically the decimation of the Middle East and the endless war machine that doesn't ever seem to stop. And, tying it into, and also kind of referring to everyone who isn't a Jew as a goyim cattle, that might upset people. So when people start to be like, hey, Jews, could you not? And then people are like, oh, anti-Semitism is on the rise again. And these anti-Semites, it's like, look, I just want us all to get along. And all I'm saying is your actions are kind of like, they don't really gel with a harmonious society that I personally would like to live in. Like, I wish we could all just kind of be equal. I wish you kind of didn't think I was cattle. I wish you weren't kind of performing sacrifice en masse to usher in your Messiah. I just want us all to get along. So That's all I'm saying. Is what you're doing seems like it's sort of against the interests of people who just want to live and get along. And generally that is being called, now obviously there are people who go way too far with it and actually do say like wild shit that you could say is anti-Semitic. But it seems like these labels get used on people who are just like voicing reasonable concern that a country or a group is acting in a way that like you don't like. And people are allowed to not like things. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what I don't get as well. It's like, why is Americans specifically, and I mean, like, it's like the whole Pete Hegseth thing is crazy that you have this guy in charge of the Department of War who is like openly on camera being like, we can rebuild the third temple. It's like, what? Are you a crypto Jew in disguise? Like, I just don't get it. One thing I'm really looking forward to talking to Jason about is like, what the fuck is Judeo-Christianity? Okay. And I mean that. Like, I don't actually know. And I feel like Jason's going to be a really great person to explain this and get into it. And the reason I have this question is because we watched The Passion of the Christ the other night. And, you know, I'm a real newbie when it comes to the Bible, but I'm fascinated. I'm becoming more and more fascinated with it. And when I watched The Passion of the Christ, I was and one thing I asked about it to the people who were watching it with, who did know more, I said, is this accurate to the Bible? Like, is this depicting the story as it's told, or is it a bit of a, you know, are they sort of expanding on it a little bit and making it a story? Apparently, it's as accurate to the Bible as it could be, according to, like, apparently Mel Gibson said this. So after watching that movie, I was kind of like, what the fuck is Judeo-Christianity? Like, how can Christians be of this sort of belief that their religion is sort of like a derivative of a belief system where the people literally brutally killed the person you consider to be the Lord? Like, it doesn't make sense. So it makes me wonder, like, is Judeo-Christianity like a psyop? It seems like a psyop that, like, the Jews or the ultra-Orthodox Jews have used it. Zionist is a better term, because I think this all comes down to like it's all got to do with what's happening in the Middle East, I believe. And also, as we said yesterday, the person who owns the publishing company that published all the textbooks, at least in America, was a Mossad agent. All of your history books have been approved by a Mossad agent. That's a fact. So it makes me wonder, like, is Judeo-Christianity like a scheme to kind of make Christians side with and support what we call the Greater Israel Project? Because if people actually like looked into the Bible and looked into the story and realized that a group of Jews, well, technically, I guess the Romans killed him, but it was, if you watch the movie, it was under the heavy influence of the Jewish people who lived in Jerusalem. So, you know, it just makes me wonder, like, how do these stories align with each other? It like, if you're just to go on that, it's like they kind of seem like the enemy. And in the Bible, it literally talks about the synagogue of Satan, people who claim that they are Jews, but they're not. And I think this is stuff I want to get into with Jason as well, about the idea that, you know, the people in Israel today are not actually the Israelites from the Bible. And I believe, and because I've heard other people have explained this to me, but again, because I'm a bit of a Bible noob, I struggle to relay it as well as they have explained it to me. But basically, through the different sort of lineages and bloodlines and tribes, This is the case, and it is the fact that like the Israelites from the Bible have nothing to do with the people in Israel today, which sounds like what the Bible talks about the synagogue of Satan and people who claim they are Jews, but they are not. And if you look at what the Greater Israel Project is doing, it very much go to Baal, Moloch, sacrifice, war, death, killing. It does seem very satanic. It does seem very satanic. And this is a thought that I had today. We'll move on from this in a moment because I know some people don't like talking about this kind of stuff. But I had a thought today that like some people have been aware of this stuff for a long, long time about who really runs the world and how much of a grip they have on things and what their agenda is. It makes me wonder if because there's no doubt that there has been some kind of like intentional unveiling of this, like to make people aware of this. I've said for a while that it's especially through like memes and Instagram and TikTok that the things that are allowed on Instagram today. There is no chance that shit would have survived like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like my Instagram algorithm would probably get me executed in Israel. Seriously. Now, I'm not saying like, it's all what I believe or whatever, but like the shit that comes up in my algorithm, the shit that people send me sometimes, I'm just like, it makes me laugh that this is even a thing. And again, I can't help but think that like it didn't used to be this way. Like you couldn't talk, you couldn't say these kind of things. You couldn't have like funny Hitler speech videos, which are so common now. All of these transcribed Hitler speeches, and it's just kind of like, this is fucking wild. These are everywhere. Like, what is happening? And it feels like so to me, it's like there must be a conscious decision on some level for this information that has been like greenlit. Like it's okay to put this information out now. And it's creating this generation, especially in the younger generation, of kids but also my generation and older, of people who are becoming like aware and clued on to what is actually going on and like where the power structures be and the foreign influence and all this kind of shit. Like people are becoming very aware very, very quickly, evidently, right? And it makes me wonder, is this why there's like some kind of race between that and this awareness and people finally being like, actually, we don't want to go and die for your crazy holy war. Get the fuck out. I think we're going to kick you out of the 110th country. Is that why this war is ramping up? Because it's like they can see that the clock is running out. And it's like, look, our time is up here. People are fucking noticing what the hell is going on, that we've basically subverted their entire country. And basically we're on a short clock to get this war happening, baby. That's a thought that I had today, because it's like evidently people are noticing, it's all unraveling. And at the same time, the foot is being put down on this accelerator because it's like, do they know that they're like running out of time? I don't know. These are just the thoughts that I have, but I think you can't deny that there has been some green light to wake people up through mimetic warfare. And I think memes are a very powerful, they're a powerful tool in the information war. And I think they've been extremely effective. And I think that's probably why you see like these big companies trying to buy social medias, because they want to control that kind of stuff. And it's conversations like this that I do think will get me rejected at LA airport. But you have to say it. You have to say it. We'll always say what we think, and we'll always be honest. One rabbi said Donald Trump will atone for the sins of Azov and help Israel establish our new kingdom over the world. Yeah. Honestly, the only hope we have with Trump, the only hope we have with Trump is QAnon. That's how bad it is. The only hope is like the most unhinged conspiracy theory. And hey, they've basically all come right so far. I'm just saying, they've basically all come right so far. But one of the only ones left is QAnon. And that is that Donald Trump is basically playing the role of Severus Snape, where he is like playing for the bad team, but he's actually a double agent for the good team. And he has to kind of look like this bad guy and wear these arrows to actually, in the final moments, like flip the script and become the good guy. That is the only hope we have left. Because if that isn't the case and he literally just is like an Israeli puppet, I don't know where the fuck we go from here. Don't know where we go from here. I would say it's Jova. If he's not Severus Snape, it's Jova. My mum keeps saying the 16th of March, the Simpsons assassination of Trump. Well, they predicted that? The Simpsons predicted that? That sounds like a wild thing to be on a Simpsons episode, but maybe. I saw something that like, I saw some rabbi talking about the fact that like Trump getting shot in the ear was some kind of sign for them that he was like earmarked as, he was marked on the ear as being some kind of vessel to help usher in the Messiah or something like that. Like that was a very important thing for them, for his ear to be bleeding. I don't know. Didn't his kids marry Jews though? I'm not sure. I don't know the Trump family tree very well. And by the way, like the whole QAnon Trump being Severus Snape, I'm not saying I believe that. There's definitely a shred of me that's clinging onto that because it's the only piece of optimism we have left. And the conspiracy theories have come right. They have come true. They've been right. But just on face value, it doesn't look that way. We know his uncle snagged Tesla's work allegedly, though. Yeah, exactly. That is true. That is very true. All right, let's get back to some of these super chats. Frostradamus, fantastic name. Thank you very much, sir, for becoming a member. Snail Burner says 15 years ago today, Japan had a 9 magnitude earthquake. Well, when would have that been? 2000 and, 11. The same year that New Zealand was hit by a direct energy weapon, according to Eric Hecker. Yep. Rusty says, got a honking from a car horn and a wave in my Polarity shirt just yesterday in Port Macquarie. Really? There you go. There are weirdos lurking about on the streets. They do leave their homes. It's confirmed. My favorite is actually, because I get sent photos every now and then of people seeing people in the wild wearing Polarity merch, and I love that. That's actually my favorite thing to like post as like merch ads. I call it weirdos in the wild. So if you ever see a weirdo in the wild, I'm sorry, but you have permission to take photos of the stranger and post them to me. I don't know if that's legal or if I should really say that, but it's already been said, and that is the beauty of a live stream. 63 Paris Diamonds with 10 months says, totally me too, Josh, it's real. I'm assuming you're referring to like magic and ritual and all this kind of stuff, and yeah, I agree with you. Susie says, paying money for a dog. Update on Suki before we end, please. She's been on my mind. Maybe a picture. How is she? You video chat her. Thank you. Love you. I have something for you right here, Susie. Got a little, just a picture, but I got a nice little update yesterday. And let me just make sure. Yeah, I can show this. Yeah. Okay. Suki is incoming. Here she is. That was her getting her little food top up. We don't really need to see the receipt, but she got a fill up on her food and her joint tablets because she does get a little bit stiff sometimes, and she loves these joint tablets that smell like kind of just smell, I don't know, like kangaroo. They smell very like meaty, and she loves them. So I would always just pop one on her dinner, and she always eats that first. And there she is with a big smile. And what is it now? March, April, May, June, July, August. Still a while till I get to see her, but that's okay. It'll go in a flash. So that is your Suki update. No videos today, but we're going to leave her here. Why not? Rain says, watch The Sound of Freedom. It was blocked by Hollywood for years. The Sound of Freedom. Watch. I think I've heard of this. I've heard of this movie. Is this, is it Mel Gibson? Or am I tripping? Sound of Freedom. I feel like I've sort of looked into this, but I haven't watched it. Who made that movie? We'll definitely check it out. Happy Suki. She looks happy. She's a beauty. She is a beauty. She's the best. She's the best little girl. Jim Caviezel. Oh my God, I don't even know how to say that. That's the guy who played. Wait, that's the guy who played Jesus, isn't it? That's the guy who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. Yeah. Yeah, I saw someone sent me a reel today of the guy. So the scene where they're picking who should be crucified or whatever. And the Romans basically say, I'll release one of these prisoners. And there's like this grubby looking dude who gets freed instead of Jesus. I saw a clip of him speaking about how like when he looked back at Jesus the second time that he felt like he actually saw like Christ's eyes staring back at him, and like this second double take was unscripted. And it was because like on the first look, it like tripped him out that he kind of like looked back and was like, what the fuck? And there was a clip of him speaking about that moment. And they showed the clip too. And like, he really does Caviezel. Okay, there we go. Jim, is it Jim? Yeah, Jim Caviezel. He really does look like Jesus. Oh yeah, he converted. That's right. Yeah, he said he converted to Christianity because of that moment, which is crazy. Yeah, wild. Absolutely wild. Really, man, they really brutalized him too in that movie. Like it was crazy. And then like the whole crucifixion scene is wild, man. I just don't know how at one point through that they weren't like, okay, I think they probably like lashed him enough. No, they wanted to keep going. That was crazy. I'm glad that we watched it together because I feel like that's something that if I'd have watched that alone, I would have finished that movie and just closed my laptop and been like, fuck, what do I do now? But having other people to talk to while we were sort of digesting the brutality of it was helpful. And I think this is why, it's good. It's good to have an online community of weirdos that you can explore this stuff with, because it's heavy shit sometimes. Oh yeah, and Jim Caviezel saying that he got struck by lightning at the end of that movie, and basically like through the movie he felt like he was actually channeling Christ's energy. That's not exactly what he said, but pretty much that's what he was implying. Shows us historical violence. Yeah. Apparently this is what the Romans were like. This is how brutal they were. It's crazy, really. Can we have an encore for those who missed it? We're watching Taken now, and I'll guess I'll plug this for anyone who's tuned in late. We watched episode 1 of Steven Spielberg's Taken last night. We will be watching episode 2 straight after the stream. So we'll be wrapping up in maybe about half an hour, and then we'll be streaming Taken episode 2 in Discord. The link is below in the description. It's in the description of every video on my channel, and it's free. You don't have to be a member, but we do have a separate section for the members. It's very active, but it's free to hang out as well, and you can still watch the streams. Okay, good night, Josh and Weirdos. Thank you. Stay safe. Don't forget to restock your pantries. Thank you, Silver Soul. Sleep well. Appreciate you. And the whole, the whole Shroud of Turin thing is crazy. That's something that I've not really deep dived on enough to understand it. But I think you sort of saw it in the movie a little bit, and I want to understand what that actually is, because it's something metaphysical, right? Because it sort of depicts Jesus. I guess I was like on the understanding that, like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know, but I want to know how it what the story is that this sheath or whatever it is displays what looks like a pretty intricate picture of Jesus. I believe Jesus existed. He was crucified, but the Bible makes me cringe. That's fair enough. You should watch the doc about the shroud. Yes, I definitely should. Josh, I'm late. What movie did y'all watch? Passion of the Christ. Yeah, Janie, we watched this not last night, the night before. Heavy hitting movie. Last night we watched Taken though, and we're gonna watch episode 2 of Taken. So it's a Steven Spielberg series about the UFO phenomenon. Stevie says busy working now, couldn't chat but enjoyed the whole show. Bye Josh, bye Weirdo. Stevie, my brother, enjoy, man. Thank you for hanging out. The Jesus Strand, a search for DNA. This is the documentary about the shroud? Do you know about the Gospel of Thomas? It's quite esoteric. No, see, I don't know anything about the Bible or like any sort of apocryphal writings or stories. If anything, I know more about, which is not much, but like I probably know a little bit more about the Old Testament and like Old Testament, apocryphal stories and stuff like that, because I've been trying to sort of understand what is at the core of like Judaism? Like what do they believe? Who are their gods? Who is Solomon? What is in the Talmud? Like, because obviously I've talked about that kind of stuff, and I don't want to just rattle shit off that, especially stuff that is sensitive like that. I want to kind of like dot my I's, cross my T's a little bit. I don't want to go saying shit on my channel that is just completely rooted in some wild conspiracy theory. So I actually have looked into the Talmud and stuff like that, so I actually know what I'm saying. Kelly Hall says, I used to hang with the working dogs on deployment in UAE because I miss my baby. Are you getting pet therapy? No, I'm not getting pet therapy, but I couldn't be, I don't think, any more comfortable with where Suki is right now. Not only do I think that she's in amazing hands, but the environment that she's in is just like, she's never had it so good in terms of like where she's lived. She's always lived in either a house with like a very normal to small backyard, and even some houses that have no yard at all. And her only sort of grass touching time would be when we go for a walk to the park each day. She basically lives at the park now. Like the park is her house with rabbits to chase and a little cat friend. So, I couldn't be more comfortable with where she's at right now, honestly. I'm very lucky. Angry Drunk German says, if truth equal power and power corrupts, then ignorance is a gift with an expiration date. Now you know why you don't know. Oh, I like that one. Ignorance is a gift with an expiration date. I like that because there is one thing that I believe, and that is that with all the bullshit and the conspiracy theories and the what ifs, I think the one thing that gives me comfort on being able to kind of not be 2 feet in and just kind of sit back and observe is the fact that ultimately truth is the only thing that will stand the test of time. The only thing. Everything else will eventually come undone and crumble away. Anything that is not rooted in honesty and truth and light will be consumed through time, I think. Johnny just throws in a rogue Ross Coulthart. I didn't actually get any answers on that, by the way. I was too busy talking. But do people call him Coulthard to call him a retard? Is that what people are doing? Or are people mistaking his name for Coulthart? Suki Heaven? I think so. Josh the Pool Butcher? You're damn right, Richard. You're damn right. I'll give anyone a lesson at pool. I thought it was genuinely Coulthard. Okay, that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear that people are thinking it's a mistake. It's Coulthart with a T. I actually was thinking people were calling him like a Coulthard. So that's nice to know. That's nice to know. Mistaking it as Coulthard is the common spelling. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I'm glad. Good job, guys. Look at us. Look at us being kind people. Rain again says, "Watch The Sound of Freedom." Do it, man. Night. Okay, we will. I think we'll have to put that up for a movie night in the Discord soon. We'll get through Taken first, though. The Wrath of Can't Even says, "A few free folk dollars towards the Polarity compound because having to work is ghetto, and I just want to go frolic with my weirdos and not be mind controlled by reptilians and baby eaters. Sending light and love." Wrath, you sweetheart, thank you very much. We will put this towards the compound. And I can't wait until we're all frolicking under the stars, clothed, by the way, unlike Robert Dean, who does it naked. We'll save that for Saturday nights. But I can't wait either. I can't wait either. What a world it'll be. The way it's meant to be. The way it's meant to be. Small communities, living off the land, helping each other out. What a way to be. What about Twin Peaks? I think Serp was streaming Twin Peaks in the Discord for people. So I do these movie nights, but Serp, we have a whole channel called Serp's Theater or Serp's Movie Theater. And he regularly will just stream things for people to drop in and watch, which he's done Star Trek, South Park. He's done way more, but it's usually when I'm asleep. So he's streaming for the Americans. So I miss a lot of it. But he's usually got something rolling for you guys. And I think there was Twin Peaks happening recently. There you go. He says we're on episode 4 of Twin Peaks right now. Swapping skills instead of cash. That's the way. That's the way. He says, I'll stream this week sometime. There you go. Come and drop in for some Twin Peaks. All right. What else we got? Did I have anything else we wanted to touch on? I think there was. It'll come to me. I'm at the bottom of the chat though. So if you have a question, hit me. Hit me right now. Honestly, I think Kay and Josh would be the planet's hottest power couple. She is drop dead gorgeous. Who's Kay? Who's Kay? Have you watched Year One, Joshy? Year One. Don't think so. Is that the movie about like cavemen? I don't know. Where can someone send you information on possible sightings or experiences? On my email or my Discord, in the Discord experiences channel. But I think, and this goes for anyone who's sending me this kind of stuff. I would also say preface your message with what you want the outcome to be. Because sometimes people tell me stories and stuff, and I can listen. And if you just want me to listen, tell me that. Like, that's okay. But sometimes I feel like I'm not sure if you want me to do something with it, or like if you're expecting something beyond me just hearing your story. So yeah, just be like upfront rather, with what you sort of want from that. I feel like that sounds super transactional, but I just want to make sure like people don't feel, left on red, so to speak. Josh, you still working with Proton Mail? Kind of, not really. And it's just because like I've been lazy. Josh hasn't seen movies. That's correct. I don't watch movies very much. Have you had pho in Vietnam? I have. The best pho that I had was the very night I got to Ho Chi Minh. Unreal. And I haven't had one that good since, but I haven't really been looking for it either, to be honest. I will. I'll get another one soon. I love them. Any 2026 predictions? Look, I'm not going to say predictions, but I do think what I find really interesting is the fact that like there's been so much that there's been already been people predicting many things about this year and prophecy and all this kind of shit. And like I feel like it's kind of coming true. It feels like these people that have made predictions about a new knowledge, unveilings, revelations, like it seems like we are really on that trajectory. And if it doesn't hit 2026, it feels like it's definitely 2027. And, you know, both of those years have just been rampant in the last decade, I guess, for being significant. But what's even crazier is like you've even got people going way further back calling these years significant. One recently that I spoke about was Sammy Hagar. I think that's how you say his name. I think he's the guitarist. Well, I know, actually, I don't know because I can't remember what he's using. People in the chat will probably know. I spoke about this on Nuggets News and I referenced him. And then people were saying Van Halen, he's the guitarist in Van Halen or something like that. I thought I'm gonna show my naivety here. Pronounced Hagar. That's pretty much what I said. Okay, it is Van Halen. I thought Van Halen was. I think I thought Van Halen was a solo artist. I'll be real. Sorry guys, but I did. Anyway, that's irrelevant. He has a song that he wrote in 1975 where he's talking about how in 50 years from now, we're basically all going to find out that what the fuck is actually going on. UFOs, aliens, all this kind of shit. And this song is from 1975. Then you've got, in 1999, you've got these clips of James Goodall, who's like an aerospace photographer and author. I think more specifically a writer and author. And he's on camera in the 90s. I played these clips a long time ago, talking about how in the year 2025, we'll find out, when he was questioning like either Ben Rich or someone high in the Lockheed Martin skunk works about UFOs. And the answer he got was, you'll find out in 2025 or something like that. Then you've got the Bill Ryan interview where he hears about someone in the city of London back in 2004 sitting in a meeting where they're talking about like instigating Iran into a nuclear exchange. But first they had to go through a series of events, which included unleashing a bioweapon on China. Like, it just feels like a lot of this shit has just been written in the stars for a long, long time, and that people have known about it, and other people have channeled it. That it's been like this information's been channeled like through artists and things like that. Eddie is the guitarist. Well, I thought Sammy Hagar was also a guitarist, so that's what tripped me up, because I was like, wait, isn't Eddie Van Halen the guitarist, but Sammy plays guitar too? I don't know. Such a millennial, showing your age. Josh plays guitar and doesn't know about Van Halen. Yeah. Oh, he's the vocalist? Okay, there you go. I thought he was I thought he was the singer and guitarist, but I never really listened to much Van Halen. And yes, I do play guitar. Not now, obviously. I'm traveling. But Van Halen was like, as a guitarist, I would watch that and be like, dude, that is so out of my league. I'm not even going to pretend I'm going to learn how to play that. I can't play Van Halen. Like, what the fuck? To think like, you play guitar, man. Van Halen? No, bro. That's like saying, oh, you run? Oh, what? So you can't keep up with Usain Bolt? What do you mean? What do you mean? You run, don't you? Oh, and you can't run as fast as Usain Bolt? That's crazy. Do you understand? That's kind of what that's like. No, no, Van Halen, way out of my league. I'm more of like a I'm a basic guitar player, very basic. I used to be more into it. Now I just like grab a guitar, grab an acoustic and strum, and that makes me happy, and I like doing that. Although every now and then I get the itch to like get an electric, play some like Parkway Drive, put my guitar into drop B, and just sit there and go jung 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 on like some overdriven distortion. That feels good too. You can't get you can't beat that. Just a completely drop tuned guitar, open string, palm mute, heavy overdrive, and just boom 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 boom. Feels so good. Maybe like hit the first fret, third fret, open again. Simple. So simple and effective. Rhythm or lead? Probably rhythm. I'm honest with my ability, okay? Rhythm guitarist. I'm not out here shredding solos, okay? I mean, I can play a couple solos, actually. I can almost play the entire solo in one by Metallica. There you go. That's probably gives you an idea. That's my party trick. There you go. Janie says, not Joseph, Josh. Janie, you never told me who my wife to be is, or at least I didn't see it. What was her name? Kay? Yeah. Who is this lady? Who is my wife to be? Try Heat Californication with Red Hot Chili Pepper and wonder how they knew back in time. Yeah, the lyrics to that song are very interesting. And that's an amazing track too. Kay Podge. Oh, I know her. Sorry, I know who she is. She is beautiful. And her content is actually fire. She actually makes some really cool videos. I don't think she does YouTube though, right? But I follow her on Instagram. She does really cool videos. She's in deep. She's in deep. Frank Zappa is a brutally underrated guitarist. K. Randall May. K. Randall May, the old remote viewer. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. If it doesn't work out with K. Podge, maybe K. Randall May will take me. Paul McCartney was a Beatle. He was. What a man. Can I email you one of my metal tracks that I wrote 13 years ago about Israel ushering in the apocalypse? I would love nothing more than that, to hear your metal track about Israel ushering in the apocalypse. Please do. The Khaleesi? Yes, I need to find my Khaleesi. Gnosis Zilla, celebrating 7 months, says, while I was in the desert in South Oz, I saw 2 orange orbs spinning around one another. Flying west from where I was the best sighting I've had. Those Min lights, bro, they're real. They're real. So you were out in the desert in South Oz. You would have been up near, I guess, Woomera, somewhere around Woomera, I would imagine. Interesting, bro. The middle of Australia, I think, is such a interesting place. And just our country in general, the fact that we have, I don't even know what the percentage would be. Australia is almost as big as the United States. And I reckon saying we only inhabit 20% of the land is a massive overstatement. What do you Aussies think about that? Do you reckon like maybe even 10%? It's literally a giant desert where no one lives. And multiple remote viewers have said there's an alien base in the middle of it. Right next to where this giant rock is, the biggest rock in the world, I think. I don't know that, but it's enormous. And there is not a similar rock, even any rock of a considerable size, in sight. And then suddenly in the middle of nowhere in this flat desert is the biggest fucking rock in the world. And people are just like, oh yeah, it's Ez Rock. Yeah, it's just as rock, bro. What? How did it get there? What does it mean? What do you mean, man? It's just as rock. It's just as rock, bro. These are the fluoride people. I just want to grab by the shoulders and be like, think for yourself. God damn it. Even Aboriginal people are like sus dog on Ayers Rock, Uluru, whatever you want to call it. Even Aboriginal people are sus on it, and that's why you can't climb it anymore, because it's like you're disturbing the spirit that lies within it, or something like that. Okay, don't quote me, but I know that there's sus dog. That's as best I can speak to it. Uluru, bloody Uluru, mate. Joshy, what's up with Uluru? I don't know, mate. I might have to go on a camping trip out there. Have a barbecue on the top of Mount Zeal. Josh, it's important. Don't forget to check videos in media regarding Scott Walter. So this is the guy that was on the Basement podcast. We'll check that out. We will check that out. Lots of people have been recommending that one, so it sounds like it's a must watch. I've climbed Ayers Rock. Interestingly, this must have been a while ago, because I think it's been, off limits for 10, 20 years, so you can't climb it anymore. But where's our pyramid, Josh? Well, we have glyphs. We have the Gosford glyphs. There's that. Check out the Devil's Marbles, Josh. Is this the new conspiracy term for the Moles Balls? Is this Adelaide people trying to create some significance about their city, that we're creating conspiracy theories about the Moles Balls and calling them the Devil's Marbles? I'm here for it. I'll propagate it. I'll spread it. I'll pretend it's real. No, what is it? Tell me. I don't know. Never heard of it. It is worth watching. All right, we'll do it. More on Nuggets News. Yeah, Nuggets News has done a lot of cool stuff about Australia's sort of hidden history with like Egypt, but also like Aboriginal bloodlines and the significance of their blood type, and what these different blood types mean, why elites have a keen interest in these certain blood types. It's kind of wild. No, they're in the Northern Territory. Okay, Kat. We'll have to go and check them out. I do feel like I've heard of it. I feel like I've heard the term, but I just have no idea what it is or where they are. The Gympie Pyramid. Yes, I've heard of that one, Aki. I have heard of that one. Devil's Marbles are real. Not the Moles Balls. You blow my mind, Josh. You know so much shit out there. Just look, you know all of us now. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, because sometimes I feel like so often my chat are like, Josh, have you seen this? Do you know this? And I'm just like, nope. But ultimately, the world's a big place. No one can know everything, right? We missed a super chat from Rain. Again, my man, thank you for all the support tonight, Rain. He says Hollywood blocked it. They blocked it for over 3 to 4 years before it was released. The Sound of Freedom. Mel Gibson was killed off from Hollywood because of this film. This links so much. The Sound of Freedom, not laughing too serious. So when I was asking before, is The Sound of Freedom Mel Gibson, everyone started saying, fuck, what's his name? Caviezel. Jim Caviezel. Is that his name? I can't remember. The guy who played Jesus Christ. So I was thinking that that's who made the Sound of Freedom. But it's Mel Gibson. It is Mel Gibson. Either way, I'm intrigued. It doesn't matter if Jesus made it or Mel Gibson. I don't know. Either way, I'm very intrigued, and I am going to watch it. We'll probably stream it in the member section in Discord after we've watched Taken. Which, by the way, if you tuned in late, we will be watching episode 2 of Taken, Steven Spielberg's series, straight after this live stream. Jim Caviezel. Jim Caviezel. Just helping it sink in a little bit. It was produced by Mel Gibson. Okay, interesting. I'm excited for it. Gympie Pyramid was closed to the public, now smoked by a new highway. I'm not sure if anything is left. It's kind of crazy how they don't think twice to kind of like just rip shit like that out of the ground. Then when someone's like, hey, maybe we should dig under the pyramids, and it's just like, nah, no chance. Although apparently Chris Bledsoe is going to Egypt this year, and there's going to be an unveiling. Could you guys imagine? Imagine if something actually wild does happen when Regulus is in the gaze of the Sphinx. Like something, not something that's like, we're kind of in this time now where, slowly it feels like times are changing and there's this escalation of war and people are awakening to, hidden power structures, and it's very slow, but it is happening. What if on the day that star is in the line of Regulus, something happens right then and there, massive, worldwide, that no one can deny? That would be insane. And it makes me wonder, like, have people been buttering everyone up about this thing, this coming, we've got to be prepared for, there's an event for that? And could that even be a psyop? Okay. As in, you've got like you've got your religious people covered with all this side of prophecy. You've got your conspiracy theorists, UFO nerds covered with this Chris Bledsoe angle of Egypt and this new knowledge. So everyone's kind of like in this sort of belief that something could happen. So the stage is set, everything is primed and just ready for the blue beam fake invasion. It could be. It literally all be bullshit to try and like, because if we are seeing like this destruction of the old world and the ushering in of the new, this world built on sort of like oil money, petrodollar, into this new age of like AI, data centers, nuclear, free energy, you probably need like a real turning point, like a linchpin to that story, something that really catapults it from old to new as like a line in the sand. Otherwise, it would just be so slow and so messy. Like, when do we collectively agree to like turn off our, electricity grids or petrol in our cars? It's like the easiest way to do it would just be to like stage some kind of like, oh shit, the world as we know it is literally over right now. We tried warning you for it. Tried letting you know it's over right now. And the next couple of months are going to be chaotic as we slowly begin to usher in your AI overlord. Okay? Okay? Everyone understand? Everyone understand that the old world is dying and we're going to be ruled by an AI overlord? Okay? Okay. Perfect. They got the go-ahead, open the recently found chamber in the Great Pyramid. Let's hope. Let's hope. Yes, the Jang emoji's coming. The Professor Zhang emoji's coming, people. We'll have it soon, I promise. I might be able to do it tomorrow, actually. Do it tomorrow. We'll have it ready for the Jason Samosa stream, which if you're tuning in late, Friday night or Friday morning, if you're in the land of the free. The Kali Yuga, yeah. The Kali Yuga stuff is so interesting. The Yuga cycles. There's a guy, do you guys remember the Australian podcast? They've stopped now. They were called Mysterious Universe. There's two Aussie guys. And they had a guest on who, this was like the first time I really learned about the Yuga cycles. And he was, he had a book and he was speaking about how he believed the dates for the Yuga cycles were off. And he had like an argument. Actually, from memory, I'm pretty sure, man, I could be tripping here, but I'm pretty sure his argument was that it was that the actual Yuga cycle changed, that we were exiting the Kali Yuga, or I don't know if it's entering or exiting, I don't know, but it was now. It was March 2026. I swear I'm not just saying that, but from memory, it was March. It was March. Unless it was March last year, but I don't think so. I think it was this year. Anyway, that was an old show on Mysterious Universe. And it was very interesting. And it's where I really learned about Yuga cycles, what they mean, Kali Yuga coming in or out of it. It was March 21st, 2026. There you go. That's crazy. I need to go back and watch that podcast now. That's crazy because, again, look at, the current state of things. I did a hamstring on a Yuga cycle. Wrong cycle, bro. You got to stretch before you do that one. You got to stretch before you get on the Yuga cycle. That video was their highest watched MU YouTube video. Was it really? I remember they did one on the pyramid that popped off as well on the scans under the pyramids. Moody Mongol says, Josh, add this movie to your watch list. An AI warning, Colossus: The Forbidden Project. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. Actually, you know what we should watch? As Spielberg has another movie about AI. In fact, I think it's called AI, and it came out in like 2001. Apparently, that's a really good movie in terms of revealing the future in advance. And for something about AI in 2001, pretty interesting. We'll check that one out next. Few people have seen it. Some people say it's great. Some people say it's shit. You guys obviously know I haven't seen a lot of movies. And it's largely because when I'm watching something that I know isn't real and it's just like a fun made up story, I kind of just get bored. It's just kind of like I'm just sitting here watching a screen of like some fake fairy tale story. And I know that sounds like super cynical, by the way. Like some people would be like, bro, just chill and enjoy the movie. So I totally get that. But I also just feel like this is literally just a fake story. And I'm sitting here just like I'd rather play a video game or something. At least like I'm interacting. My mind is stimulated. I'm like active. You know what I mean? I'm not just like zonked out. But I've been finding enjoyment in movies these days, in movies that seem to have some kind of weird element of truth to them. So like, for example, the movie AI, which I'm sure, back then was just a fun little story. I think it's crazy when we look back at some of these movies now and we can see that it's like, I mean, either these like directors, your Spielbergs and whatever, had some kind of inside info as to like what was coming, or, and this is a theory that I think should be, that I do give some weight to. I do wonder if these people are kind of inadvertently like creating the future somehow. And they do, and this is sort of like what I think about with The Simpsons as well. Is like, are they seeding ideas into the wider consciousness of humanity? And so we all see these things happen, and then somehow we collectively manifest it, and it kind of becomes our reality. That's obviously like a very nuanced line of thinking, and it's not going to be applicable in every case. But I do think that there's something to the core sort of like element, the core basis of that theory, that like seeding ideas can like manifest collectively. We all have the power to create. Yeah, I agree. I think that could be what we are to this non-human intelligence, is we are sort of like creators, we are manifestors. And that's why like harnessing our belief and our attention is so critical, because whatever we sort of collectively agree upon becomes the world. It becomes the reality. It becomes real. We manifest, we can create reality around us. And I wonder if that's what we're so important for. That's what we do as a species. Dogs hunt. Humans create. We manifest. That's why artists are in touch with the muses. And many people like Sammy Hagar and Michael Jackson and many other painters, people talk about channeling songs and ideas. They just kind of come to them. They're tapped into something and they just express and they create. And that's special. I think there's something to that. Guys, thank you for a lovely long 3 hour after dark. I really enjoy these kind of streams. Honestly, they're so fun. I love just chilling out and hanging out with you guys and just talking about all the weird stuff. It warms my heart. It really does. So thank you for all the support tonight. I hope you've had fun. I hope you do enjoy these kind of just streams that kind of have no point, because it's like a community. It's a community vibe, and I love it. So thank you again. The link below is for Discord. Come and join. Like I said, it's free for everybody. If you're a member, connect your YouTube account and you can access the members area as well. In about 5 minutes, I will be pressing play on Taken episode 2. So look out for that stream. I'll put links in the chat channel so you guys can jump in. But that's happening. So enjoy. I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you very soon for Friday night with Jason Samosa. I'm looking forward to that. Peace.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.